So in the next chart, shall I proceed with just keeping the chart and not mentioning what the issue is? Are you all okay with it? Maybe you can come close. You can come near the zone of affliction related to the body part, or at least that area of the body that was afflicted. Right?
Okay. Yeah.
I think that should be a good idea.
Yes.
Let me remove the name center. Okay, I'm sharing the screen once again. Hello, Soumya ji.
Hello, Kishore ji. How are you?
Good. It's going to take some time for this. So we are there were some charts that came for our perusal, and this is one of those charts. Okay. Yeah.
So are we doing a live stream, right?
I'm not sure because Guruji is out yet, and maybe when he joins, we'll be going live. Maybe, not sure.
Got it. I just spoke to him like 15 minutes ago. So he said, yeah, he will be joining. So.
Okay. Fine.
Okay.
Just 1 second. Let me keep the identity private. So this is the birth data of one of the charts that came for discussion. And I don't know if the person who gave it to me is in the group, but if he's there, please let me know so that we can have a direct discussion. Basically, focus on the D1 first. Okay.
Can we say the place of birth, maybe? Or
actually, it was given to me in private, so I'm waiting for that person to come up. And if in case he agrees, then I'll give the data. Because I'm just sharing the chart for the sake of our research, or what you call, to ponder upon it. Okay.
Yeah.
Can you bring it out from the D1, the D9, the D3, and the house chart? I've also kept the North Indian chart for people who are totally interested or totally into North Indian charts.
Kishorji, is it related to medical astrology?
Yeah. Medical astrology.
Okay.
See, the live stream particularly is going in the direction of helping people find the root cause analysis of what is afflicting them and what could be the course of action that they would need to take. Okay. So please have a look at this. And if you've been regularly following the videos that have been taking place in the last few weeks, by now you'd be able to pinpoint or, at least tell us what is the problem. That is the problem area. Okay. So if anybody wants to speak, please speak when there's a pause.
Is the medical issue related to like the chest area or the head? Not sure.
Probably, Kishorji, is it something related to phlegmatic? The one with a severe sinus, anything related to something related to phlegmatic stuff.
Why are you saying that? What is the condition with the astrological backing?
It is a Saturn Moon conjunction with 12th Lord in the 7th, with Moon directly aspecting the ascendant, and Moon directly aspecting along with Saturn the ascendant.
Gautam, you do have the case history, right? This is the case study 1, remember, Gautam?
So Kishorji, is it not the head or the chest?
We'll come to that, Soumyaji. I mean, if you can even you see, let us say that you need to go deeper and find out what could be other ailments. Okay, see whether if I say right now that it is right or if it is wrong, then you will lose focus, right? But what if I say I want you to proceed along the lines on what you're going, So would that be of help for you, Soumyaji?
Yeah, I mean, I need some either a yes or a no, like some next step that should I proceed along those lines or not?
Because there are people who would be wanting to say something, right? And if I give you an answer right now, or shall I send it to you on WhatsApp? I'll just text you on WhatsApp.
Yeah, just send it to me on WhatsApp. Yeah.
I can
That's
do that.
fine.
So
Yeah.
that people will
Yeah,
not be aware, right? Okay.
Yeah.
I'll just send you the symbol, okay? But what you told just now, I mean, I want you to go deeper. I want you to go further, okay?
Yeah. Got it.
So
Okay.
don't say anything at the moment, but let's go further, okay?
Yeah. No issues.
See, astrology works. And when I say deeper, then it will really work. Anybody else?
This person had any fracture?
Deepak Ji.
Yes.
What is the astrological reason for that?
The Lagna Lord is Sun and it is along with Ketu, and Saturn is aspecting both the Lagna and the Lagna Lord.
You're on the right track, but I mean, technically you're on the right track, okay? So I will not negate that. I will not say it's wrong, but that did not happen for the native. That much I'm sure.
Okay.
Can I call out the names and ask them to say at least one area of affliction which they are able to see prominently? Is it okay, guys? Okay. Okay. Murahari, right?
Yes, Kishorji.
So Murahari, were you the one that was corresponding with me in WhatsApp?
Yeah, right.
Oh, okay. So I did some. I removed the birth details that was there in the center. Usually we have the birth details, but if you give me the nod, I can proceed with the birth details in the center. I mean, it's up to you totally.
Sure, not a problem at all.
Not a problem, right? Okay. So the next chart, that is, in fact, I think we did 2 or 3 charts, and all of them are playing according to the script. Murariji.
Okay.
Is that your first name?
Yeah, it's Murahari is my first name.
Okay. So most of the charts had the telltale signs of the afflictions that you mentioned. They had a backing in the chart, a very strong backing.
Okay.
Did you have a look at those charts?
No, I'm still a beginner. I think whatever you have been teaching since last 4 sessions, right? Through that, I was trying to apply few of the methodologies which you have taught.
Okay. Just a small correction. I'm not teaching. I'm only sharing what I know. I'm also a student.
I'm a student of you and Guruji, mainly Guruji.
There are seniors. There are some seniors than me here, and it's like a journey. All of us are traveling in a compartment and we're enjoying the ride. And while enjoying the ride, you're also learning some things. Right, Sampatji?
Absolutely.
Yeah. So, anybody wants to go into the chart and find out the area of affliction? And Murari ji, this is going to be really interesting because whatever you have mentioned is seen from the chart.
Okay.
The slide.
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure, there is an aggravation seen with Jupiter nicely aspecting in both D1 as well as in Dracana being in conjunct. So Jupiter going to magnify whatever the issue that the person has. It could have been magnified a lot.
Oh, okay. In other words, you're saying that the impact is definitely there because it is Vargokam in D3 and D1, right?
Yeah. Yes, and Jupiter, from medical point of view, it's not a favorable um graha actually. It is a first benefic graha, but from the medical point of view, it multiplies or magnifies whatever the disease or the trouble the person is going through.
One small question, Sampaji. It is only the retrograde Jupiter that does not give any blessing. Okay. The regular Jupiter, the normal Jupiter, or what you call the normal motion Jupiter is good. Yes, somebody was wanting to say something.
Kishorji, I think it is retrograde Jupiter.
Yeah, it is retrograde Jupiter. That was mentioned. I think you came late, right?
Yes, Kishorji, I came late.
Okay. Yes, Pavaniji.
Does this person, this native, has issues from the birth?
Why do you say that?
Because the life started with Rahu Mahadasha, and Sadhisati is there during the birth itself, and from the beginning.
Okay.
And Saturn and the Moon are in Rahu, so Rahu influence is there in the chart mainly.
Okay.
And the eclipse is there, right? Eclipse is there also. This
Yeah.
4 and 10 axis is disturbed by Rahu and Ketu and eclipse and
Okay. So what would you say about? Okay, but what exactly is the affliction, or which part of the body got afflicted?
lung or heart.
Yeah, genetic. Yeah, either genetic issue.
Because Moon is afflicted. Maybe eyes also a little because Saturn, Moon is also afflicted, Sun is afflicted.
It could be head also, but yeah, lung or head is where. But that's a good point, Pavni. Very good observation. The birth Mahadasha.
Anybody else? Okay, so since people are not forthcoming and only 2 or 3 observations have been made, let me mention the fact that what Somyaji mentioned is right, what Pavaniji mentioned is right, but there's something more there. Do you want me to give some more time to find out what the problem is?
It's related to the neck, or it can be because Mercury is also there in that conjunction, afflicted.
Could you repeat again?
Because Mercury is also in that conjunction with, the Sun Ketu axis. Mercury is also there. Maybe neck part is or speech part is afflicted. But the main point is the main graha Mars is good. Mars placement is good for this native. It is not afflicted. This is the only. This is the blessing for this native. Positive one. And this Mars is also having the aspect of Jupiter. And the Mars is the fourth lord, so.
Any other observations? Anybody else?
Could it be
Any
sun related?
Yeah.
Please continue.
Thanks,
Saturn,
Gautam.
Saturn is in its own house with the 12th lord. I don't know what to compare from that.
Yes, Parameshji, what was it you wanted to say?
Yeah, any problem with the blood circulation?
Why?
Because it moon moon is the 12th lord in the 7th, and directly it's in Rahu nakshatra and directly aspecting Lagna, and it is happened in the place of Aquarius. So
Okay.
not Aquarius, that yeah, Aquarius, yeah.
Okay. So how did you relate that with blood? Oh, it's because of moon being the karaka for blood, you're saying.
Yes,
Okay.
and it's also 12th lord.
Good. Anybody else? There's one important point I'm waiting for people to say. It is connected with the general chart reading, and then goes into the chart and comes out in a problem that's connected with the health of the person. Okay. Let me repeat the statement again. I may sound baffling. So if that is the case, let me explain this in a different way. That what we normally see in a chart, all the doshas and all that, sometimes the doshas get converted into some other issues cropping up at the time uh, when some events take place in the native's life. Okay. If you people had watched the video, the previous or the one before that, there was a chart of a lady whose affliction started after the marriage took place. Are you able to recall that?
Yes, yeah.
Not the chart, but the script that I'm telling you. Okay. So sometimes it so happens, like for example, let me give you an example. Why to grope around in the darkness. Sometimes putra dosha comes out in the form of delay or denial of marriage. We've heard that many times before, right?
Yes, yeah.
Right. Now, in this chart, I learned something which was really interesting, and I wanted to bring it across to all of you. Is that when Murariji gave me the chart, he gave me also the conditions or the situation that the native was in. And I have to admit the fact that he did a really good presentation of the data, because he gave it to me along with all the details and the timings of when those events took place and all that. Quite an interesting and a revelation for me, because when I was seeing this chart, I saw many things that were, on dot, okay, on time, on dot. It's like things happening as though the chart was, made for those things to happen. Okay. So let me not go beyond this. I think you guys are losing patience. If anybody wants to say something, please speak in the next 10 seconds.
Could it be sun related?
Gautam, you want to say something?
Could it be sun related? The issue with the native.
Yeah, that was mentioned by Soumya-ji, right?
Okay.
Actually,
I think something about chest.
No, she told both.
Oh, God. Okay then.
I mean, she did not mention sun, but she gave the connection with sun. Right, Soumya-ji?
Okay.
Lagna Lord, yeah.
So,
And 4,000.
as usual, Pavani-ji gave the right answer for. I mean, she was very observant enough to see that the starting dasha itself was a karmic dasha, that of Rahu, and it was not just Rahu dasha, but also Sadisati at the time of birth. Okay. First point. Second point is that, as it was rightly mentioned, there are two things here. One, the Lagna Lord, and two, the sun being the Karaka for heart. Okay. Now, when a Rahu Ketu eclipse happens, and the biggest afflictor we all know about Rahu Ketu's affliction to sun, that is the time when we see two things happening here. Okay. Please pay attention to not just the sun, but also the presence of the Lagna Lord, who is also the sun, impacting the native in a double, twice, okay, 2 times. Now, what other afflictions do we see here? We see that the second lord and the 11th lord, the second lord, the second Maraka lord, and the 11th Trishadaya lord sitting in the house, the 4th house, in an enemy sign and retrograde and combust. And afflicted by Rahu Ketu axis. So this is what Guruji recently coined a word. He said it's called ERKA, eclipsed Rahu Ketu axis. So there we have. But this is not a pure eclipse. But whenever we say Rahu Ketu afflicting the sun, we consider, astrologically, we consider that as something that is a blemish. Okay. And most importantly, the sign of Leo in Kalpurusha is considered as that part of the zodiac connected with the heart. Okay, and when we see Saturn afflicting it, definitely it means that there is something, a trouble brewing there. Okay, keep that in mind.
So I just want to ask one thing, Kishorji, before you proceed.
There's something else that I'm not revealed yet. I'm coming to that. So
yeah. I just wanted to put this point out there that when whatever the result is, whatever the answer is, I would love to know if it has a Sade Sati element or only the D1 element. I just wanted to put it across to everybody.
No.
That whatever the disease will be, will it have any, like we had that discussion the other day with Guruji, that will it have any Saturn related connection or will it be purely on D1 affliction?
I didn't quite get your question, Swamiji. Could anybody rephrase that question for me?
So let me rephrase it for you again. When Guruji was part of our Sade Sati discussion, one of our dilemmas was whether that incident happens in a native's life. Is it Sade Sati connected or is it the chart itself?
Oh, okay. Let me
remember.
Let me tell you something.
Sure.
This is going to be an interesting question and answer because these are both two different things. What you see in D1 is a static affliction and Sadisati is dynamic affliction because Sadisati involves the transit of Saturn.
Yes. But what I'm saying is that once you reveal the disease, I'm just curious to see if it is a Sadisati triggered incident or is it
That's what I'm
just
saying.
deep
You need to
incident?
modify the terminology here. You need to use the word Saturn and Moon conjunction. That is an affliction. But when you use the word Sadisati, it belongs to the domain of transit, Gochar.
No, because I think Pavni ji mentioned, right? He was born in Sadisati. Is that correct?
Yeah.
I think she mentioned.
Because at the time.
Yeah, that's why I'm curious that is it Sadisati triggered or is it would have been triggered either ways?
See, I'll tell you what.
Supposing.
Technically speaking, Sadisati is a transit related blemish or a dosha, right? Technically,
correct,
blemish or connection, right? But you can't use the word Sadisati here because this is a static element. This is a snapshot of the time when the person was born, and at that time, Saturn and Moon were conjunct with each other. Though we normally call Saturn-Moon conjunction as Sadisati, the actual Sadisati is only when the transit Saturn goes over the natal Moon.
No, I'm not talking about Saturn-Moon conjunction at all. I'm only talking about Sadisati, the transit Sadisati. I'm talking about whether this person fell sick, would have fallen sick, irrespective of whether the Sadisati was there or not. So it's just another dimension, that's all.
One question to you, Soumya-ji. How do you separate Sadisati and Saturn-Moon conjunction? How do you talk of these?
No, because I'm saying, because when Pavni ji said, right, he was born in Sadisati, and Guruji's discussion in Sadisati was about that, right? Like, how do you identify? So Guruji was saying, right, if it happens on Saturn nakshatras or if it happens on Saturn dominated times, it will be Sadisati related. And if not, then it is the D1 chart, the regular chart affliction that will show up because of the Mahadasha. Like in this case, it is Rahu Mahadasha. This is an eclipse axis. So it could just purely trigger because of that. So I was just curious that once you reveal the answer, I just wanted to also think on those lines that is it also because of the transit, Saturn transit, the Sarasati, or is it that just added to the already existing promise, So I just wanted to bring that thought, that line of thought that Guruji was trying to teach us the other day.
So whether we call it a Sadhisati or a Saturn Moon conjunction blemish that's happening there, the fact of the matter is, let us say that Pavniji has a different impression of the chart and you have a different impression. So what you come out with as a statement is relevant for us. The other
Yes. So I'm focused on the transit, what she mentioned. I
yeah.
really liked that point that she highlighted that. So Rahu Mahadasha and Sadhisati, right? And now we're trying to understand that the Lagna Lord is in fourth, it's on the eclipse axis, and it's the fourth house. And then Kal Purusha's fifth house is for heart. So somewhere in the chest region, and then we are narrowing it down to the heart. So I want you to continue with your answer because even I'm curious. All I wanted to know was that will there be a Saturn element or not? Like, will there be a Sadhisati element or not? That's all.
Okay. Kishorji, Samyaji, how I see Saturn playing here is giving a chronic or long-lasting disease rather than a disease which is there for a shorter duration and go away. Rather, the impact will be there for a longer period of time.
Yeah, I
Probably,
think so. Yeah.
Yes.
One
probably.
point is which
Nice.
Antardasha is going on during the birth, if we can know.
No, Sampaji, your point is absolutely right. That is the reason why we need to look at it separately. We don't need to look at it as a Saturn moon or Saturn transiting over moon at the time of birth or Saturn moon. When they were together, we took a snapshot. It's like when two people are together, we take a snapshot. And then that snapshot tells us what happened there at that time, right? Basically, Saturn moon transit happens to everybody, right? But for the person to be born during the Saturn moon transit, the Saturn transit over moon, then we have to give an even bigger picture to it. Sadhisati is just 7.5 years. So that is the point I wanted to make. It's just that we'll not get engrossed with the controversy about the names or the nomenclature. We need to find out what came out in the person's life. So I think we all agree on that, right?
Yeah. Kishorji, can you say the Antardasha during, for this native, the starting Antardasha?
Yeah.
Rahu and?
Rahu Jupiter.
Rahu Jupiter. Okay. Eighth Lord.
Jupiter, okay. Mm-hmm.
My opinion on every transit is that all transits works within the Vimshottara Dasha only. It cannot be as a standalone tool to predict any events, the timing of events. So if any Dasha Antardasha allows such things, then it can be used.
Yeah, I'm just waiting to hear what the final problem this person has. And then I'll have some comments depending on that.
Okay, so the problem that this person faced is connected with a genital defect, or you can say a defect at the time of birth. And as you rightly guessed, it has to do with the Karaka Sun, it has to do with the Karaka sign Leo, it has to do with the affliction to the Lagna Lord, and the fourth house, which is again the chest area. And that affliction came out in the form of a hole in the heart. So this native was born with a hole in the heart. Surgery was performed 10 or 11 years after the birth, and it was successful. And That is the point, that not all medical issues that we see in the chart need to be long lasting or chronic or painful. Sometimes there will be relief coming at a certain point in time. So nothing is gloomy and dark. Now, what are the afflictions that we can see? The big affliction, because whenever we see something big happening in the native chart, it definitely has to be seen in the charts, right? If you look at the Drakana,
Kishorji, I have one question. Does this hole in the heart was found out in the beginning of the life?
Yeah.
Or it took
The
time?
child was born, she was diagnosed as having a hole in the heart. Okay.
Okay, immediately. Okay, thank you.
Okay. So when you look at the Drakana, we see the same affliction to the sun. Rahu Ketu axis, and sun is in the afflicted zone. Right? And even here we can go about and we can find out the problems afflicting the fifth house, afflicting the fourth lord of the fourth house. All those problems can be seen even in D3. That's very important. Now, there was a question I asked some time back. I mean, it was lost in the conversation. I'll bring that question back into the forefront. Were there any other issues? Remember, Soumyaji, I asked you about it.
Yeah, so now I'm thinking, because I was so close to saying hole in the heart, but I should have not second guessed myself. But I will say that the result of having a hole in the heart, I genuinely don't know this answer. Does it affect circulation basically? What is the main impact of that? I think the child gets tired very quickly. Does anybody know?
Maybe
What
I
is
think
the
so. I
impact?
don't know really, but maybe tiring.
I think the stamina is less, or I don't know what medically gets affected. Is it circulation or something else?
Okay, that information I think we can definitely get it from Google. But then,
Yeah.
whenever we see the affliction to sun, it also afflicts the vitality and vigor of the native.
Vitality. Exactly, vitality.
Vigor. Okay.
Vitality and even immunity sometimes, right? But in this case, it will be, I think, vitality.
Okay. So now
If that is.
Can anybody guess the second affliction that happened? It should be.
And that is why I was going to say somebody else had said circulation. Somebody else had talked about. Didn't somebody say something about circulation earlier?
About blood,
Yeah,
I think.
it's about
blood
blood circulation more.
Yeah, I think that point could be a secondary, maybe not a direct connection, but a secondary, right?
Whenever we
Effect.
talk about an affliction to the heart, definitely it is connected with the pumping activity. And what does it pump? It pumps blood, right? See,
So
a
that
normal heart's duty, the duty of a normal heart is that of pumping blood into all parts of the body and receiving and pumping, right? That when it gets afflicted, definitely it is going to be a part of circulation problems. So all these are connected. Okay. Now, let's go to the second affliction. Anybody could come to the point of finding out? We have a senior here, Prakashji. Would you like to tell us what you felt could be another zone of affliction?
Kishorji, I'm driving, Kishore. So, I can be only listening more.
Sampatji? Okay, the affliction that came, that is seen in the chart also actually, is connected with the seventh house. Also connected with the fifth house. Also connected with the 12th house.
And it is not circulation related, because I think that is what the other
We covered
student
already.
had mentioned,
We covered.
right? Saturn Moon, 7th Lord and 12th Lord connection is what he had mentioned. So I wanted to make sure that if he said it correctly, then we should acknowledge that. Is it related to that?
Related to what?
He had mentioned Saturn, Moon, and connection with blood, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
No, Karthik. This was a different affliction actually. But you need to proceed along the lines.
So something in the reproductive area, Kishorji? You're still saying health-wise, right? Affliction?
Yeah. So can you guess what the problem could be based on the 3 red circles?
One thing is the 12th Lord in the 8th is a low lifespan, medium lifespan, and it is afflicted with Saturn again, the 7th Lord in the 7th house. It is also 6th Lord. But affliction, lungs. Also mind afflictions are not there, right?
It has to be connected with the mind also, because whenever you hear an affliction to the body, something major, definitely the stress will be there, right?
So mental issues, I'm directly going to the mind, severe mind issues.
You're looking at the grahas, but I'm asking you to look at those red circles, where they are. Which part of the life would they be covering?
Okay.
And from there, we need to proceed into the health part or the medical part.
Got it.
Okay, so since you all are watching the video and you're eager to know what the suspense is, maybe we can leave it here and ask you people to send it as WhatsApp, in WhatsApp. Will that be fine? At least it will be an adventure, right? To find out what could be the problem. Right, let's go to the next chart. Would you like to go for a WhatsApp reply?
The second one is also, the second issue, health issue, is also chronic. Right, it must be chronic, right? When you are asking.
No, it was not chronic, but it is related to that part of life which is, I would say, connected with
married life.
Yeah, married life. Okay, I'll keep this chart, the second part of it, as a suspense, and we'll see if people can come up with in leisure. Okay. So shall we go with the second chart?
Yes, Kishorji.
Kishorji, one wild guess here. May not be true, but I'm just
okay.
Yeah, don't mistake me. But like, does he? It's an issue, or it's his thoughts? You're saying about his maybe.
It's a female chart. It's a female chart.
Yeah.
And it is definitely an issue.
Yeah.
It's physical or mental? Here, just mental or physical? The
See,
issue.
Mental issue, I will not deny Pavni ji, because that mental problem or the mental stress could happen because of the medical issues, right?
Both.
So, I mean, it's like, asking a person who is writing an exam, does he have any mental stress? Obviously, he's in mental stress, right?
That is physical, then mental stress comes because of the physical issue.
Yeah. For example, let us say a lady is in the hospital and there's a, the lady is about to deliver. Do we say that she's only suffering from the pain, or is she also having stress? We'd say definitely stress is a part of everything, right? Whenever major things happen, stress is involved, right?
Yeah.
So if you're asking about from that point of view, you're right. But if you're asking whether there is any, the actual stress involved, like depression or other things, then it is not that case.
It's just because of physical issue, the mental issue came.
I mean, you understand, right? The picture. So a person is having some problem and therefore they are stressed. That is one stress. Another stress is when the mind is not able to cope up with certain things or events in life, and they want to, they go in a circle, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So there are two different
So,
things.
I mean, let me clarify. So, with the second option that you're mentioning, Kishorji, is that a clinically diagnosed mental issue or not?
No.
Okay.
So
It's
I'm leaving the
just
chart
stress.
for now. Yeah, I'm leaving the chart for now, and you can get back to me in WhatsApp if you're interested. I can and take your answers in WhatsApp, because I don't want to go too long into this chart. We have some other charts coming up, and let me pause the share. Okay, here we go. The next chart reading coming up. Let me know if the chart is seen. So Deepak ji, you want to go first?
This is a new chart, right, folks?
Yes, yes.
Yes,
Third year,
Swamiji,
yeah.
and
Yeah.
see,
Is it pulmonary issue? Pulmonary?
I want to ask all of you one thing. Please consider this as something, that is good for research, because see, anybody could do this, right? You could just keep present the chat and look for afflictions. But when you see the script and the script of the life and the chart matching so beautifully, then we only have to wonder at the mark of astrology once again. Guruji will be joining us shortly.
Namaste to everyone. I'll be joining in 10 minutes. Okay.
Karthik, is it with this chart you're mentioning? Oh, okay. I'm not wanting to hear the actual affliction. I mean, that's difficult because there are so many problems that could happen because of an affliction in one particular house or with one graha. But maybe you could point out the zone where the affliction, and from there we can go and see if we can reach the point of actual affliction. Okay.
Is it lens related? No.
Yes, Deepakji, what were you saying?
It's me, Gautam. So I
Huh?
was asking if the problem is lungs related.
Oh,
And what I see is affliction of Mercury severely. Mercury being debilitated, and the fourth from Mercury particularly is afflicted by Saturn. And the same Saturn is aspected back to Mercury, and from ascendant fourth house as Ketu in Kandata. All pointing to maybe lungs, chest.
actually, this chart, Munari ji, this chart took me some time to figure out actually. Okay, so it's going to be difficult for everyone because knowing what happened and then trying to get that affliction seen in the chart, it took me some time actually.
Yeah, I think that was one of the issues which I mentioned, Kishorji. I think what Gautam was pointing it out was also a right thing, actually.
Oh, you didn't,
So,
but that was not mentioned
yeah,
by you, right?
It wasn't mentioned. So I think this person got affected with TB at the age of 17. So that issue is also there. So I
Yes.
forgot to mention that to you.
Oh, that was an important affliction. See, the chart never lies,
Yeah.
right? I mean,
Even
in
he has
Tamil
to
Nadu,
prove itself.
in Tamil, we say kattam enna solludhu. Kattam enna solludhu அப்படின்னா that means what is what is the sign telling us? What are the signs telling us?
Right. I
This
think that
is
was a
male
very
chart,
good
right?
catch.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
a male.
There is another term, Kishorji. உன் ஜாதகமே என் கையில தான் இருக்கு.
That is in a negative way.
Yeah.
And when was that affliction, Murahari ji?
So I think when he was studying engineering, right, at the age of 17, 18, I think that's when he got affected with tuberculosis. Somewhere around 1960s. And currently also I see this person having a lot of issues with breathing issues. So he uses that, I think, inhaler or something, right? Just to get a relief for himself.
Okay. See? Does anybody need to have the birth details? I can display it in the center, or I can even dictate it if you want. You can make a note of it.
Yeah, please, yeah.
Okay. Sending it to you. Very difficult actually to get it from the chart. The back tracing became difficult. But of course, once we saw what happened, once we heard, then we could actually trace it back.
Yeah. Is the throat connected to it? Throat or voice?
Yeah, I think that's what they said, Gautam. So because the oxygen doesn't pass well through the throat, of course, he has a lungs issue. Lungs are functioning almost at 30% or 40% currently. And
Okay.
because of that passage of oxygen through the throat, I think this issue amplifies a lot, the
Okay.
breathing issue. Is it safe to say that this TB issue has occurred during the Rahu Dasa kind of a thing, or
Pardon?
is it safe to say that this TB issue has occurred during the Rahu Dasa, or because I think he's born in Rohini, looks like, right? Moon.
So TB was the main issue, right?
TB, I think it started with the TB. I think the issue which I mentioned to
Okay.
Kishorji was something which has happened very recently, somewhere around 2013. I think that's what I think Kishorji was trying to lead you through.
See, just because it was difficult to find directly, so I had to go deep into it. And what are and some of my findings are like this. First thing is, there is an affliction to Talpurish, the Libra sign of Talpurish. First thing. Okay. Let me just build up with what clues we could get. The second affliction that I saw in the chart is that of Venus affliction. And what is the
How is
affliction
Venus
of
affected?
Venus?
Because of 12th Lord, you are saying, right? Or in
The 12th Lord. Yeah, that is I'm slowly coming to that point. Conjunct with the 12th Lord and also with Rahu Ketu in the same sign. Okay. So we see that 12th Lord is not only conjunct, the 12th Lord luminary moon is also having an affliction by Rahu Ketu axis. Why am I saying Karaka Venus? Because we are going to go to the root cause analysis to find out what Venus stands for, right? Then we see the affliction of the 6th and the 7th house by Mars.
year of birth is 1946? Or am I wrong?
No, what I sent you is correct.
That is 1946, yeah.
And then we see Saturn also being afflicted. And how? We call this as a Papa Kattari.
Malefic Hemi.
Yeah. And then we see the Saturn aspecting his own dispositor who is debilitated in the 8th house. A Trishara Lord going into a Dusthana. Okay? And not only is Mercury the Trishara Lord, he is also the second Lord, the Maraka. And one important point I want to make again here is that Maraka lords do not mean that they inflict death. It just means that they bring death-like suffering. We call it as a Gundam in Tamil, we call it as a Gundam. Now, you may question why Jupiter's aspect on Mercury was not helping. Do you see the reason?
Yeah, that's a retrograde, right?
Yes. So retrograde Jupiter was not helping in terms of medical help, the Ganga Jal. But this does not mean that it would not help, because there is another relationship between Jupiter and Mercury here. Can you guess what it is?
Parivartana?
Parivartana. So this Parivartana definitely would help. The aspect of Jupiter being retrograde may not help, but the Parivartana brings in some comfort. Now, when you go to the year 2013, it was the Mahadasha of this very same debilitated Mercury. Once again, let me reiterate that he is the second Maraka Lord and the 11th Trishrai Lord. And he is placed in the 8th in Parivartana, Samasaptam with Jupiter in the 2-8 axis. This 2-8 axis is something we have to watch out for. Another thing I noticed is when I was observing deeply, I noticed that most of the grahas were in Bhavamadhya or very near to Bhavamadhya. Between 23, 24, 25, 26, like 5 degrees this side and 5 degrees that side. The afflicting grahas. Now, the native underwent TB's affliction in the 1960s, but he did not have any problem in overcoming that. And he was diagnosed with type 2 prostate cancer in the mid 2013. That was the time when the affliction actually erupted. Of course, we can say that prostate cancer is a very prevalent sort of an affliction to the prostate glands, especially in elderly people. And in this case, the age was definitely there because it was, I think, in 70s, I think, when he was getting that affliction, right? He was able to recover, gain control, and he undertook what is known as the gland-related medication. Now he is fine, hale and hearty, no issues with health. But his bone mass density was reduced. Murariji, I think your doubt is right that it could be age-related also. And the reason why we could not find, the doctors could not guess what was wrong is because the Antardasha of Ketu was there at the time when this was actually diagnosed. Okay. So okay. Mercury and Mercury Ketu. So when Mercury Ketu happened, that was the time when the affliction came to the forefront. But the doctors could not diagnose or could not come to a conclusion as to what it was. Now, another reason why this was not a very severe affliction, I would say, this wasn't that severe because of this Nicha Bhanga that happened of Mercury.
Yeah. Kishorji, can I ask one question?
Now, let me finish this, Riji. Yeah.
Okay.
So, because if I lose focus, then I will forget some points.
Yeah, please.
Now, another point is that we also noticed that we heard the word that he recovered from 2 major afflictions, right? One was the TB and one was prostate cancer. The reason why I found this chart very important for all of us to observe is because there was a reversal in 2 major ailments. One is TB and the other is prostate cancer, which prostate cancer, they say, is actually difficult to treat unless you catch it in the early stages. Okay. So, and that happened, I guess, is because of the Lagna Lord being exalted. Another point I want to make here is that along with the exaltation, the dispositor of Lagna Lord is debilitated. So all these factors are, the pluses and the minuses are there. And the afflictions came out on the surface and then they took their course of action. Whatever they were supposed to do to the native, they did. And then they moved on, right? Now, for people who are technically minded, let me say that the Vimshopak Bal and Shat Bal of Mercury is very low. Can you guess what the number is? It's less than 4. Is that because of that Vimshopak Bal being so low, or the Shat Bal being so low, that there was a recovery?
Generally, the Mercury strength will be less for every chart, I think. And normally it is
Not
not like sun or like that. When anyone born at 12 o'clock, the sun Shadbala will shoot up like anything. But Mercury is always 100 above, 100 below, like that one.
we have been observing charts, Pavniji, of late. Mercury Shadbal is not always low. I mean, that's a very sweeping statement.
And
so Mercury's Shadbal will not be as low as 3.8. Vimshopak Bal is also so low.
I mean, in the chart I just plotted with your data, Mercury Shadbala is 85.
No, see, when you plot this in a software, you will definitely get the readings, and maybe there will be a discrepancy because of the software that we're using. But you'll see that comparatively speaking, the Shadbala, which we've been checking, has been very low, actually, compared to the other charts that we saw. Because I always keep a focus on what are important, the metrics.
Yeah.
It's not that it comes out so easily. It takes time to see those the points. We keep searching in the darkness. We find, okay, what could be the affliction? What else could be the reason behind this? So we find that there is an algorithm that's working.
Yeah. And one more thing is the Ashtaka Varga Bala for Mercury, the Bhinnashtaka Varga points for Mercury are 7. It's not. It's an important point to note. It's not to ignore. It's same Mercury. I am saying.
Yeah. So could be that. See, sometimes the affliction causing grahas, if they need to make a statement, then they need to be having some dignity in the chart, right?
Yeah.
And when you see that Vimshopak Bal and Shadbal is low, and then you see Ashtak Varga is high, then definitely we need to look at it with a little bit of caution.
Kishorji, I'm just thinking, any planet like normally Saturn is very good in the 8th house, and Jupiter is much better. But Mercury being, though it is debilitated, but being in its own nakshatra, and it's a natural towards benefic, and being in 8th house, somewhat given him a relief.
Yeah, Mercury in the 8th we say is good for longevity, right?
Longevity. So even though, because as like persons has affliction, I mean like problems, but he has survived long.
See, here we need to look at the reason behind the afflictions, and we also need to see what was the saving grace in the chart. Because if we know from these charts, we know what is the saving grace, then we are actually on the right path, right?
Yeah, the Lagna Lord itself is exalted. That's what you're saying, right?
Very simple. Whenever the Lagna Lord is exalted, definitely the person will have a good physique. At least
at that 60 years of age.
Yeah, the physical problems will not be there.
Yeah. Kishorji, can I mention one point with Mercury Dasha Antardasha?
Yeah.
If Mercury be in the sign of debilitation or in the trick houses, or conjoined with or aspected by the malefic planets, it will cause loss of wealth, crops and animals, opposition from the co-bonds, possibility of disease like shooting abdomen pains. And one thing, this is the one thing. And if Mercury is the 2nd or 7th lord, it's another point. Same abdomen point came once again. Disease like gastric, intense abdomen pains. It says. So direct prostrate, no one can say like this, but the abdomen, prostrate is in the abdomen area, right?
That's right. It's a region where we connect with the hidden organs. The 8th house is that of the hidden organs, right?
Yeah.
So we see for this Lagna, Mercury is doubly malefic once again as the 2nd Maraka Lord and the 11th Trishadaya Lord, being placed in the 8th house. Though longevity, I mean, we are not supposed to talk about longevity. So though it is a good placement for Mercury, it does bring in some afflictions which the native has shown. right?
Yes, yes, yes.
So do Gurubhyo Nama Guruji.
Namaste.
நீங்க எப்போ வந்தீங்க?
Hariom.
Hariom.
I came just a few minutes back, but
I didn't see because I was looking at the chart, and when we are projecting,
that's okay. Why did you remove the chart?
Oh, okay. I'll share it. This was one chart which took me a little bit of time to diagnose.
Oh.
Yeah, and one more important, surprising and shocking statement that was made today was that there was an affliction in the chest area that was mentioned by someone. Gautam, do you remember who mentioned it?
Chest area.
Yeah. Somebody mentioned it. Can that person speak up?
Maybe Gautam, right? Gautam mentioned that, right?
Gautam mentioned it, right? Okay.
I only mentioned the lungs part.
Karthik
mentioned. Okay. No.
Because I read it from the chat just now.
Yeah, Guruji. And surprisingly, the person who gave me the chart is here in the chat along with us. He's the BGNR 7. Murari, you're BGNR 7, right, Murariji?
No, Kishore, I finished. It's a beginner 06.
Yeah. 6, okay.
06, yeah.
So, and he forgot to mention what that affliction was. And then when Gautam or somebody asked whether it was lung-related infection, then he said, yeah, I recall that he had a TB affliction long back. And TB is actually a very serious affliction those days, in 60s, right?
There is one text which says, Rohini Nakshatram always prone to TB. I'll give you a proof. When Saturn went over this place, moon, somewhere around, I think 2002, is that matching? In 2002, around that time, Saturn was going over Taurus. Somebody can do a Jagannath Hora for 2002 and check Saturn's position. I guess it was over here, somewhere around that time. Okay?
Yes, Guru. It was Taurus.
It was in Taurus, right? So Saturn went over it, and it is Sade Sati. Okay. So 5 of my Rohini Nakshatra clients, they all got TB. Okay. So I noticed a pattern. Why is it happening? Two of them were, of course, heavy smokers. Okay, but other people were not. Okay, then it so happened that in my office also there was a girl who was Rohini Nakshatra, and it so happened that she developed a swelling somewhere around the neck area. Okay. Now, of course, she is somebody, a typical Brahmin and strictly following the rules. So she keeps the Ekadashi Vrat for very long time and very pious. So when the swelling came, something told me that she is also Rohini Nakshatra. And something, I just generally felt. Then one day, I just looked at the swelling and said, can you do a TB test? Okay. And she felt very offended. And whatever she was having in her hand, she just dropped it on the floor and said, I'm quitting the job. You have insulted me with a disease that comes for, she most probably didn't know all the low people, those who don't have any good habits, some are bad habits, etc. So she compared and said, you think I'm like one of them? I said, no, TB is not like that. It can come to anyone. And then she went and complained to my wife that your husband is saying I'm having TB, so I'm quitting my job. I said, okay, you quit the job, it's okay, but can you still do the test? But she just went away. After a week, she came back. Another doctor also said, can you do a TB test? And when she did the TB test, it was found positive. Okay. And then she rejoined my office. Last week, I had a moon, same, Rohini Nakshatram. That person also told me, he had to go through this tuberculosis. So just keep in mind, we are going to add up this to our database. Okay, like that this is a great possibility. So there are some nakshatra based diseases also. You need to keep track of basically you should have some books with you for all these nakshatra things. And B.V. Raman used to always associate TB with the moon. Okay, always associated with the moon. But TB can actually not just be in one particular area; it can be somewhere else also. Okay, that's my contribution today. Just continue with your discussion.
And
Sir, is it moon? Is it moon because it is moon is a water planet and the Kalpurusha house is also water?
Maybe correct. But in this case, moon will be in moon nakshatra, right? But in moon sign itself, there is no moon nakshatra. We only have Jupiter nakshatra and Saturn and Mercury. So this will be like a moon coming over the moon, something. But I noticed that all of them got it only in Sadesati. So when the time is bad, maybe in this horoscope, you see already there is something about the moon, because you have Sun and Saturn bracketing, putting a lot of pressure in that area, right? Moon is under, anyway, the person was born in Sadesati, because you can see Saturn very adjacent. I mean, I don't know what is the context, but when I saw Rohini Nakshatram, the moment you said TB, I checked, is it Rohini Nakshatram? And it happened to be Rohini.
And Guruji, like 5th and 8th Lord, usually 5th Lord and 8th, or 8th Lord and 5th is pulmonary disease, right?
Correct. But there are very varieties actually. In this case, it is not. That's what you are saying, right? 5th Lord is not.
My first word was pulmonary, but I realized that it was Mercury, Jupiter, Parivartana. It's not a direct 5th and 8th, like the lordship definition. But that will not apply, right? That
no.
Can we use that?
See, you could use any rule, but remember that Rohini Nakshatram is always prone to TB. That's all.
Got it.
So like that, we can pick up a lot of things. Like for example, Shravana Nakshatra, I always noticed hearing difficulties and more occurrences of autism.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so we need somebody to keep track of on the side, just like a database and an Excel sheet or something. You got to keep piling up these things. Like how many times, when we go around 1 year of all this discussion, like what Kishorji and the team is conducting, we will soon be able to say, I think we saw this so many times, this particular combination or this particular something in a horoscope. We saw it so many times. So do we take some, give a lot of importance. And in Nadi astrology principle, there is one great idea that whenever you see a graha in its nakshatra, it is always emphasizing something more. Okay, it's emphasizing something more in its nakshatra. So all I can see in this chart is moon is in moon nakshatra and Mercury is in Mercury nakshatra. Right? I saw that. So Mercury is something in this chart. That much I know. Because
and he also prostate cancer in at the age of 2013, sir. But he overcome that problem.
Oh, prostate. Oh, prostate is 8th house. Okay. Yeah. And it is also a kind of a Saturn disease. Because anyway, Saturn is 6th lord for this person. 6th lord in the 11th. 6 and 11 connection, one of the significant thing about 6 and 11 is desire and disease gets connected. Is it in the same bhava? Yeah, it is in the same bhava. 23, 26. So 6th is Roga, 11th is desire. Will somebody desire for disease? Anybody can comment on this? Desire for disease? Is it correct?
Too much of a type of a desire will lead to a disease? Like,
yeah. That's what.
Sexual disease, for example.
Anything,
Too much of
anything,
desire.
anything. Not only sexual, but STD or something. Something you have done. Huh?
Yeah. Alcoholic.
Yeah, anything. In that case, human beings, let's admit that every human being knows that it is all bad, right? And still they do it. So the logic is, I like it, so what? Even if I fall sick, no problem. So there will be a liking. So in my notes on my consultation, I always made my software tell me, inviting disease by your habits. That means it is not genetic. It was not waiting in the body. You consumed something over and over again. That's why I always tell people, don't consume the same thing again and again. Because sometimes it will be matching up with your karma. Without your knowledge, you will be liking something. So you say, no, I'm not going to. So for people like this, 6th and 11th connection, one of the top remedy is to fast. Get out of the desire to eat, to control the desire. I think nowadays, most people in the world of research on cancer, they're saying you can actually cure cancer completely by just fasting. Have you heard of this idea? You fast.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, it's
not
very.
To feed the bad cells.
Don't feed it at all energy, and it will die. But I don't know how far this is safe. We are not experts in this, but at least there is some logic to it, right? Because we get these diseases because we consume something over and over again, possible, or maybe this birth or past birth. We did something with disease and enemies and desire or something, and that led to we getting this problem. Anyway, what happened after that? This person is cured now. I see the title now. Prostrate. The spelling is R is missing there. Prostrate cancer. But what is are we noticing any patterns, Kishorji, for cancer? Do you see something?
First thing is that even I was so long thinking it is TRATE. Then Google corrected me and said it is TATE. Prostate.
Oh, really? Yeah. Oh my God.
Till this morning, I didn't know it was
prostate. Oh, it's prostate, is it? Thank you for correcting me.
I too got corrected only in the morning today.
Okay. Maybe Indians are used to pronounce it as prostrate. Okay.
I'm getting prostrate actually with R. I am getting prostrate actually with R in Google.
Maybe we have American spelling and the what do you call that, European. So might be there is some differences. I think many times you see some small differences. We can ignore it.
Yeah. So there is one. Somebody wants to speak. Okay. So there is one connection with the 11th, the 6th, and the 4th, Guruji. I want to bring it out.
Okay.
Is the 6th from the 6th is 11.
Yeah, correct.
The 8th from the 4th is also 11.
Oh.
Okay.
So you're connecting some logics to, okay. So something about 4th is in trouble and then 6th also gets linked up. Nice point.
So this is actually the connection I got was because of one chart where the person had a lot of upliftment in material world, but he had problems with his mom.
Oh.
His mother had some problems actually.
Okay.
So the connection was made in that way, and the 11th house, the dignity of the 11th, the Graha in the 11th and the Lord of the 11th, the dispositor of, both of them are afflicted because you see that Saturn is not a normal Saturn here for this Lagna. Saturn is just the arch rival of Sun, and also the 6th and the 7th Lord, the Maraka and the Trishalai Lord. He is placed in the 11th house, which is again a Trishalai Lord, and the dispositor of that 11th is debilitated in Pisces and also once again in a wrong placement, the Dusthana, the 8th house.
Oh.
So there are so many things happening here. And then we notice that this looks like a pretty decent picture. We see Venus in own sign, moon exalted. And then suddenly we see Rahu here in the Rahu-Ketu axis. We see the luminary moon getting afflicted. And who is Venus with? Venus is with the 12th Lord moon. That is the problem that I felt was the root cause. Most importantly, the telltale sign of prostate affliction is because prostate is connected with the reproductive organs of males, and we say reproductive organs, we need to look at seventh. We need to look at mainly Venus. So Venus here got affliction, being an apapakartari and hemmed by malefics.
Okay. Do we have any thing, repeating about when these triggers happen? Are we finding some patterns?
Yeah.
Like when was this?
Dasha Bhukti, right?
Yeah. Dasha and Antardasha, when it first appeared.
Yeah, even that also.
Sir, can I read the Mercury Antardasha, sir? When it is 2013, he got prostate cancer.
Oh, he got it in Mercury.
Yes. And Pavani also mentioned something in
Mercury, if Mercury is in the sign of debilitation,
okay,
or aspected by the malefic planets, it will cause loss of wealth, crops and animals, opposition from co-bonds, possibility of disease like shooting, abdomen pains, anxiety. Yes.
What a fantastic thing. Okay. So
Sir,
you're
one more
keeping an
point
eye.
is-
You're
And it
always
is
keeping.
aspected by Saturn, right?
Huh?
And it is aspected by Saturn. Like Guruji, you said prostate is a Saturn because of
Saturn
the
based,
blockage.
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
assuming, right? Blockage in
because
urinating.
any disease that always is associated with old age, because prostate comes very often to men only in old age. It will not come early at all. It will come later. And that it's a pra, no? A pra sound. A pra sound is always Saturn, which comes little later. So wonderful that you are able to connect a Maraka Graha, Nicha, and then you're connecting the Dasha Antardasha reading to, and then connecting the 6th Lord Saturn, 7th Lord Saturn to Mercury. So, I mean, if we believe in astrology, this Mercury is surely capable of delivering this result. So that means the horoscope is, perfect because you have the BPHs proving it again.
Sir, can I say once again? I mean, it is in the Mercury. It is Mercury in the debilitation. For Mercury debilitation, it was said. But if we see, should Mercury be the Lord of the 2nd or 7th, it will manifest intense abdomen pains again.
Okay, just 1 minute. I'll be back.
I have one question to whom, who gave the chart? Is this person believes in God or not?
Yes. He's a believer of the God, and I think he has read Sundarakanda almost like 20 or 30 times. I think he believes in Hanuman, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, Lagna Lord in the 9th. But I know you're asking Pavni because of Sun in the 9th, right?
Yeah, not only, just because here some remedies are there. Whether this person followed those remedies to come out of that problem, I want to know.
Yeah, Lagna Lord in the 9th, I think high chance that they will listen to the remedy.
And yeah.
But I will also say prostate, my dad had it and he had it slightly younger and the doctors were shocked. But it was just an enlarged prostate and it really is so painful in urination. It blocks urination. And he got it very young. He got it below 50.
And
but it was removed.
The Dasha Antardasha for him at that time?
What happened? Suddenly no signal.
No, nothing, sir. Soumya explains a similar problem, how painful it will be.
Oh, you're saying
My
how
dad
painful.
had it, Guruji, prostate, just enlarged prostate, by God's grace, not cancer, but and it was very painful because you can't urinate. It basically blocks your urination.
No, there'll be
And it's
frequent
very-
urination. To
Yeah, they have
start
to give
with.
a medicine for urination. Yeah.
Yeah, it'll be terrible actually for. I mean, it's one of the most difficult conditions for men. is now cured?
Yes, Guruji.
Okay, thank God. Shall we say Jupiter aspect on Mercury must have helped?
Actually, medically speaking, Guruji, I think you're aware, right?
Oh, Mark Boney's
but
idea
then
that.
what saved him was this parivartana between Jupiter and Mercury, not the aspect.
Oh, so if you ignore the aspect, then you have parivartana. Okay.
Yeah, then I would say that that would have saved him.
Hmm.
Murariji, how was the marital life? I mean, it's a question that is not connected directly with medical, but I just wanted to know from astrological point of view whether there were any hiccups in the marriage or it went smoothly.
There is a lot of age difference, Kishorji. I think
okay.
Between husband and wife, it's almost like 10 years age difference.
Okay, and if there are any more questions, I'll ask.
Okay, the top of the chart is not showing the title. Is there a reason for it? Only for me it's like that, or do I have to? Oh, okay.
Reason I hit it because when you were doing the session.
Oh, okay. Oh,
I had labeled the chart as based on affliction. Then I realized that I should not name it that way because.
Okay. You give it away. Okay.
That's the reason why.
Can I just see the D3 chart just in case 22nd Drekana?
D3 is here, Guruji.
Which one? Oh, on the left side you have D3.
Yes,
Okay. Mercury is in the 22nd Drekana. Not the Lord, but a planet in 22nd Drekana. Along with the Lord of 22nd Drekana. Mercury-Mars conjunction in the 8th. This is something very strong because this Mercury, there it was in the 8th house and here it is in the 8th house again in Drekana, which can actually happen. But in this case, we see that it is with the Lord of the 22nd Drekana. I hope everybody understands, the 22nd Drekana. Are there beginners in the class? Then just ignore it. Maybe in the class I will teach you.
So this chart was very interesting for me, Guruji.
Okay.
The reason why it was interesting is because of two major afflictions that got reversed. One was TB and the other was the prostate cancer.
Yeah, TB, what is the problem is that when they give you the medication, there is an exact timing that you have to take, I think 3 times a day or something, and keep on going over it for some stipulated time. And if you do it perfectly, it will be cured. Okay, that is one. There's only catch here is, suppose you leave it off, the treatment, after that there is nobody who can save you.
Very relapse.
That's all. The second time it comes, meaning that you didn't finish it off completely, you stopped it just because you thought you're getting well, and then when it comes back, they say there is no hope. Okay, so all the people in your connections, whenever they get this, you must tell them under no condition should you disobey the doctor. Okay.
So Guruji, what is the past karma related? What is the past karma related to tuberculosis? Like they have given bad water to people or bad air to people in the past. Like what is the past?
Well, I never thought about it. Very difficult. Maybe we'll have to think about it and find out. See, generally,
or they sold cigarettes or something. Is it?
Because yeah, possible, but that's what I told you. That it could have. For people who were smoking, they were more prone to it, I thought. But then I also found people who do not even, like this girl who was doing Ekadashi fasting, which which is extremely, one of the most important things for health. That on the 11th day, if you skip your meal, one of the top, because Sri Krishna himself says that the rice is poisoned on that day. So you might get a lot of diseases if you eat food, and we are all consuming food on Ekadashi. Okay. So even that person can get TB. But I actually tell you the truth, I never even thought about what might have they done. Maybe the root is moon. So something with maybe what you said.
Water
and food, maybe.
So like donating healthy food or healthy water can be the
can
remedy,
be.
right?
Yeah. Yes.
Sir, I want to bring one more point here, sir. The 64th in the 64th Navamsha, Mercury is there. It's there also.
Oh, I didn't see that. Oh, it is in the 64th Navamsha. Okay, planet placed in the 64th Navamsha, but it is not as powerful as the Lord. Please understand that. In this case, you'll have to think about that. So here Saturn is the Lord of the 64th Navamsha, and Mercury is the 64th in the 64th Navamsha. Now we see some more patterns coming up, right? Because of the Saturn connection again. But real luck that the person was able to spot and then cure it. Okay, suppose the person had come to you before Mercury. What would you have suggested that please do this in Mercury opening period, the first 1 month or 2 months? What should be done? What is the standard procedure based on? I think one of you already have the book with you, right?
Yes, sir.
Avani? Yeah.
Yes, sir. I have it here, sir.
So in the last line, already Karthik has typed it. Okay. Vishnu Sahasranama. Right? What is that
sir.
for? Protection. Right? Vishnu is for protection.
Yes.
So maybe you can ask him to donate a lot of green things, green leafy vegetables to cows, and how much of a green to give away, not to wear green, not to wear emerald, and so on. See, the point is when the Maharshi is hinting at danger, then even if nothing surfaces, you should expect something to go wrong. And if you fall sick and you're not feeling well, you should check. All of us could use that knowledge of Maraka for that. But Maraka generally is a frightening word, something which upsets people. I've been, as a professional astrologer, I had trouble expressing this. Whenever I express this, people were annoyed also. So be very careful with it. Don't use the word. And then even if you use, you say it is not Maraka, not really death, but can be a test. At least I use those words. Can be a test. To tell you the truth, if you get TB and if you leave it untreated or prostate problem, you'll die definitely. So we have to give that the fact that science has helped us a lot. That's why I always say the scientists, the medical doctors are like some of them who discovered the path of treatment. I still think they are like rishis. They are like yogis because they found out. So think about all these problems. As soon as Rahu started, I had a problem in one particular part of the body. My Rahu is in the 7th. What do you think it was? Wild guess.
Male, Guruji?
Okay.
Kidney. Yeah. 2-8 is kidney, right? No.
Yeah. So Karthik says kidney. Rahu is in the 7th. Generally in the 7th, you can say always as lower abdomen. Okay. 6 is upper abdomen. So I got it. Karthik B, wild guess, wonderful. Appendicitis. I tell you how it is. It comes, a very strong pain comes, and the doctor tells me, if you don't operate tomorrow, by evening you'll be dead. Now just reverse 100 years, 200 years, 500 years. Do you think we have enough time to go for Ayurvedic treatment? We will all have been dead. So when Maharshi says for Makar Lagna, Rahu is a Maraka, sitting in the 7th house, Maraka, there is a possibility of death. It might have applied at some other time. Not now anymore. But the trade-off is that they cut the stomach. In those days, there was no laparoscopy. They cut it, and that ended my weightlifting career. And I sometimes say, thank God. Otherwise, I would have been madly after that. Okay. So, appendicitis is very strongly seventh house. Yeah. But I'm not talking about myself. I'm talking about how things have changed. So, as much as we bow down to gurus, rishis, we should bow down to scientists who found out many ways to save human life. What is that which is still pending in this chart? Are we
So the first
concluded?
chart and the second chart are like that. We didn't find there is a main affliction, but we didn't find the second affliction with respect to disease. If we can see.
I actually kept it pending, Guruji. I told them to submit it in WhatsApp.
Oh, there's one more disease for this person?
Yeah. Not for this person, for the previous person.
For the
previous chart, Guruji.
Oh, for the previous chart. Okay.
Because it takes some time to find it. I mean, I gave the clues, but then people needed more time. So I said, okay, we'll keep it in the
second. So you're going back?
No.
Maybe sir will find it easily.
No, actually, I have to go to another chart, Guruji.
Because... Oh, yeah, please go on. Please go on. I'm not interrupting.
No. That was actually a continuation of the other chart, the previous chart, which...
okay.
If Hemaji can say if she's available. Hemaji?
You said somebody who gave you this chart is also in the class, right?
Yeah.
Murahari.
Yeah, actually, I should thank him fully because he gave not only the DTP, but also the afflictions and the time the major afflictions took place and also the major events of that life. You know, that helped in figuring out and nailing it down. And it took a lot of time for me to figure out for this chart because I had to see, it is sometimes easy when the chart is actually speaking immediately, right? But there are some charts which you need to dig deep and go. So even that was a lesson in...
I can give you one particular point always. When one Maraka gets aspected by another Maraka, the aspected one will become really, capable of doing what the Maharishi said. Okay? So this is a case of Saturn squarely, perfectly aspecting Mercury as the Lord of the seventh, looking at the second Lord. So most of the time, if you read that Pavani is having that book, in Saturn Dasha, Mercury Antardasha has been disastrous for people. Disastrous for many people in terms of, this, tremendous fear and this and that when Mercury got connected to Saturn. So, I mean, it should be also malefic, okay? If it's not malefic, it is not proving. But when you are doing health, you always give this particular thing, two things, that if a planet is in its own nakshatra, in Swabhukti itself, the result will come. Always. Mercury in Mercury. Therefore, Mercury will become strong. So sometimes for some people, an event happens in the Swabhukti, you always look for whether this pattern is coming. Is it in the same nakshatra? Right? It's a very rare thing for a planet to be in its nakshatra because there are only 3 points. And coming to those 3 points is quite rare. Okay. This is only with regard to timing. But finding the disease is not so easy. Very difficult.
Also the fact that the Lagna Lord is in Mrityu Bhadha actually.
Lagna Lord is in?
Mrityu Bhadha.
Oh. Okay.
Anyway, these are the parameters that I'm constantly noting down for medical afflictions because Mrityu Bhadha.
Kishorji, we can actually split it into 2 areas. One, finding the pattern and then simply connecting it to the timing. With this, I think you should consider that you have done justice to the study. Just what time it came, because always it is why now. And the why now will reveal a lot of things about which planet is involved. At least we should get that. And then keep trying to find out what is the pattern for a particular disease. Right? Yeah. And if it turned very, very bad, leading to the cessation of this life, only then we look at it, like, are we able to find why it happened? If cure, how the cure happened. So like that, we can pick up a lot of clues.
So my query was actually going in a different direction.
Okay.
Because one thing that pulled me down in all directions, pulled me down in whatever I was doing, was the fact that the Lagna Lord was exalted.
Oh. But Kishorji, you can give that point, that Lagna Lord exalted, that there is a chance the person will sail through. He has a greater chance to sail through.
Actually, I found some reasons for that also. I noted it down in my document. Let me read that, because while I was reading the chart, I was also noting down all the points that came. And one of the points that that brought this point forward is that one thing is that case study 2, right? Yeah. So we see that Lagna Lord is in Mrityubhaga, but he's exalted, and dispositor of Sun is debilitated. That is point number 2.
Dispositor of Sun is debilitated.
Yeah. Okay. So in one direction we see Sun exalted, but then there are two pullbacks to it, and one of them is that Mrityubhaga, and the other is the dispositor not in a good state.
Okay.
Yeah, that was one thing I found. Another thing is that there is a rule that whenever we see the fourth house affliction from Sun, we see, from the Lagna, we also see it from Sun. In this case, the Sun is also the Karaka for vitality and vigor. And then we see that Sun is also afflicting, or rather, the fourth from Sun is having Mars.
Okay.
So there was this repetition coming up.
Okay.
See, like I mentioned about that sixth house.
Okay. In which part of the body did the TB come? Reveal?
TB is lungs, no?
No, it need not be only there. It can be some other places also.
It's lungs, Guruji.
Okay. This was lungs. Okay.
Yes.
Sir, one more point, sir. At the age of 17, the TB issue came up, sir. Can we go and see the Dasha Antardasha at that time and fix the Dasha Antardasha? Why can we see that?
At that age, is it? Okay.
17 years of age, yeah.
17 what? He must be in Mars. Mars, Rahu beginning maybe. Maybe Rahu beginning.
Yeah, Mars.
Mars ending. Right? Mars ending.
Born in 1947.
Yeah, just do the Dasha Antardasha. Do we have that sheet, Kishorji, for Dasha and Antardasha?
Which year, Guruji?
They're saying that 17th year he got this problem, is it?
No, he mentioned 1960s. Yeah, when he was just in college, I think.
Yeah, in his engineering, when he's in engineering, somewhere around 17, 18, around that time.
Then must be Rahu.
Yeah. Rahu Dasha for sure.
Yeah.
Rahu is also in Sandhi, by the way.
See, one thing, lungs, if you take just the lungs, it is definitely fourth house. Because it is in the chest area. Yeah, it is in the chest area. Right? So that point we can take. But if very difficult, it's an overlap actually, because from the lungs and the heart is one unit. So if you take fifth house, it again covers lungs and heart. But there it is mostly connected to the interconnection between the lungs and the heart. Okay, so that may be something else. Maybe it is cardiac problem also. And so this is very typical, right? Fourth house Ketu.
Yes, fourth house Ketu afflicting, and one more thing is that was this Akshay Tritiya at that time, or somewhere around that time?
Yeah, it is Akshay Tritiya.
And also at that time, we noticed that Saturn has just crossed over natal moon. So it would have been
Or maybe it is Chaturthi. Was born in Chaturthi. Because if you say 19, how much is that? How much gap is there? 11 and this side. So it could be
Tritiya, I think.
Tritiya only then. Okay.
Tritiya, sir. Yeah,
Yeah, Tritiya, correct. Yes, Tritiya. Akshaya Tritiya.
So we see two problems here. One is the Saturn afflicting the Lagna and Saturn afflicting its own dispositor, who is also the 11th lord, the malefic, the second and the 11th lord. So all these problems are piling up when we see the static potential, and then it also pans out in the Dasha and Bhukti of the native, because that means that we need to be careful whenever the Dasha is happening of a Trishadaya lord or a Maraka lord who is also debilitated, and who's actually one more important point, Guruji. The score of Mercury in Vimshopak and Shadbal, can you guess how much it would be?
Which one?
In Vimshopak.
Which one?
For Mercury. Just give a wild guess, Guruji.
Wild guess, it should be the weakest.
So weak, 3.8. And Shadbal?
Oh, that's a very rare score.
Yeah, I see. The reason I am pointing this out is because Mercury was low in Vimshopak and was also very low in Shadbal. That is the reason why the affliction was not life-threatening.
Okay.
You normally tell us, right, Guruji, that when Shadbal is strong, it means that impact will be more.
Correct.
So here, Mercury Shadbal is one of the lowest, and Vimshopak Bal is even more low. It's one of the rarest Vimshopak that I'm seeing. 3.8 is something I have not seen till date.
Sir, the 85 in Jagannath Hora, sir, they are same, sir. This 3.5, I don't know. I don't understand.
What the software does is there is a reference point actually for each graha. Okay, it's not the same.
Yeah.
So I think for Mercury, minimum itself is averaging is 7. Can you check that? Somebody has the table of reference that you are told that it is that is the center point for Mercury itself is 7. Whereas for Saturn it is 5, which means we are expecting Saturn to be weak, and from that reference point we adjust it. Can you check? You must be having some ready reckoner. For Mars it is 5 and Saturn also it's 5, I think. But for Mercury it is very high. It is 7. So anything less than 7. So I think, but Jagannath Ahura also should have used this logic only, because he is also a very good astrologer. P.V. Narasimha Rao must have understood that the center point for Mercury is 7. So he could have adjusted it. So it's actually called a ratio.
Okay.
It's not an absolute some number by which you refer and find out. You get a number and then you say, okay, anyway, Mercury's average is 7. If it is less than 7, that much low. Okay. Wait a minute. I'll search for that text. One second.
And this in Sri Jyoti, we search with 20, Guruji. Vimshopak highest is 20.
Yeah. Just 1 minute. Vimshopak highest is 20. If you can give me sharing permission.
Yeah.
Sir, you are referring to Shadbala Rupas, sir? Yeah,
Rupas. That is the average score. Okay.
But for here, Mercury, it is 5.9, sir. In
No. It's not. I'll show you the text 1 second.
It's not? Okay.
Can you read this?
For this chart, sir, just for this chart only. I'm saying.
Okay.
Not in general.
I'll come to that. Something else happens. According to the Shadbala rules, every planet needs a certain amount of rupas to be strong. According to these rules, Mercury needs 7 rupas. Jupiter needs 6.5 rupas. The Moon needs 6. Venus needs 5.5. And Saturn, Sun and Mercury needs 5. This is the average. This is the minimum requirement. And it is from this they build up on the actual whether it is strong or weak. So when you say 7 rupas, then if you say minus so much, then it must be really weak. Okay. This idea is given in BPHS itself. It's not something out of the blue. Okay.
So 3.8 in Vimshopaka out of 20 is a very low score, right, Guruji?
Oh my God. In Vimshopaka, 3.8.
Yes, Guruji. And in Shadbal, it is 91 out of 300.
3.8. You know what you have to do in case it is so low? It's very simple. Just open up all the 16 charts and I'll tell you how to quickly guess this Vimshopaka. It should have been very bad.
Oh, okay.
One simple idea I'll give you. Just open all the charts at one time.
Yeah.
Don't you have just the page flipping option in the software?
Are you looking at Sarvashta Varga or the Varga?
No.
All divisional charts.
All the divisional charts.
Vargas.
16 Vargas.
Yeah. I'll get that page.
By the way, Kishore, for Vimshopaka calculation, are you using Shodasha Varga?
Yeah.
Yeah, only if you use Sodasha, you get 20 point. Oh, no, I think in all the... Oh, yeah, you're right. In all the types of calculation, you always get 20 only. It's always out of 20 points. But how many charts you are using, based on that, you will get... yeah. Now, just keep this. Okay? First, Mercury in... first, start from Rashi. Mercury in debilitated. Okay? In D7, Mercury in an enemy sign, right?
Okay.
What is that? D16. Where is the order in which it goes? D3. 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 Mercury is in an arch rival, right? Because Mercury hates, Mars hates Mercury. So in this, Mercury is in Jupiter place. Okay. So first you could do one thing. How many times Mercury is in Nicha Sthana? In Sashtyamsa it is Nicha. It loses heavily there in Sashtyamsa, right?
Yes.
It's a very huge loss in Sashtyamsa. Okay. And I think that may be the thing that finally pulled it down.
Sir, but in Jagannath Hora it is 85, sir. Whether it is
Vimshopaka?
in Jagannath Hora? Vimshopaka in Jagannath Hora for Mercury is tell you, sir.
Oh, Jagannath Hora also you can check. Yeah.
It is just Shatbala percentage. It is
no, not Shatbala. I'm talking about Vimshopak.
11.6, sir.
11.6.
Yes,
it may not be Shodasha Varga.
Correct. It might not be, or wait a minute. What is Sri Jyoti using for Vimshopaka?
Just one second. Yes,
do they give any something like a legend or something?
Yeah.
What they're using? No, I don't think, there's something wrong, because in my entire life, I have not seen anything less than 7 or 6 in Vimshopaka out of 20. So 3, I'm very doubtful. How would anybody get 3?
In my Sri Jyoti, I get 9 for Mercury.
There is an option to change that Vimshopak method. There are one is BPHS translation, other is Sanjay Rath method.
No. Please do Parashar always. Please.
Okay, so BPHS.
Yeah, just click BPHS. See, we can't keep changing our stance because astrology is already confusing, and if we keep going in for modern authors, because the rishis were divine people, so we definitely cannot change axiomatic principles.
Definitely.
Yeah.
In fact, that's the reason why I'm not even changing the software also.
Okay.
So I don't want to go to Jagannath because I might get a different reading and then it'll be a total mess.
Correct. At least you can stick to one software, but you have to do a research on what exactly is going on within like Vimshopak, right? So I remember, I think all of you went through in our beginners class, so I taught you how Vimshopaka is done. Exaltation, Mula Trikona, you have to remember all of them, but and then neutral, you get a point, dear friend, everything you have to calculate. And the dear friend and Adimitra and Adishatru changes the whole thing. So you think this planet is very friendly, but based on that count, it loses that friendship. So it's very mind-boggling calculation, Vimshopaka. It's always best done by software. So sometimes we make mistakes like Saturn considers Mercury as its friend, but Mercury does not consider Saturn as its friend. It is only neutral. So there's a very, some confusing things about these. They are not mutual most of the time. Mutual enemies, mutual friends. Okay. So mutual enemies, mutual friends, you can do it in the mind. But all other things, doubtful, because we have five levels of, what do you call that? Fivefold friendship enmity. Apart from the normal Shatru, Mitra, Shatru, Sama, you have Adimitra, Adishatru. Okay, so that it is between, just placement between them will change the equation. So we have to use all that in the divisional chart. Very difficult to do it in the mind. But I always thought, at least in Sashtyamsa, if you see a planet debilitated, you can be sure that in Vimshapaka the planet should be weak, right? So what are the key things for Vimshapaka? Right, I'll see if I have that slide.
Oh, you're talking about that 5 types of sambandha, Pachakadi sambandha.
Correct. Yeah. The fivefold relationship. So just 1 minute, if you allow me to once more share the screen.
Yeah, it is okay.
Yeah, go back and this I did show in the beginners class. Oh no, intermediate, I think I showed this, not in the beginners. So you see, in Shodasha Varga, surprisingly, more than Rashi, Shashtyamsa gets point. Do you see the bottom?
Yeah.
The 10th entry, 4. Okay, you get 4. So shortcut will be just stare at Rashi chart, Navamsha, and Shashtyamsa. Just 3. In this chart, what happened? Rashi, Navamsha, Rashi debilitated, Navamsha debilitated, correct? And Shashtyamsa debilitated. So 3.5, 3, and 4.
Yes.
You see how clever the rishis were, and extraordinary brilliance. Sometimes I thought, what is the meaning of you derive from Shashtyamsa, you derive Shashtyamsa from Rashi, and then give more weightage to Shashtyamsa. What is the logic? So with this in mind, if you go back to the chart and see, this can be very useful without just appreciating the divisional charts, how important they are.
So shall we keep Shashtyamsa by the side, Guruji, because you seem to be pointing to the fact that it is important.
Yeah, you must have a flipping option between page 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. In one, you quickly show all the charts, and maybe it includes Shashtyamsa, because this Mercury is not ordinary, right? Because it's losing a lot of points, right? In Shashtyamsa, it lost point. Anyway,
sir, I want to add
what
one
are the
point
charts?
regarding
Yeah.
this. Because he has Malavi yoga. You said once when a native has yogas, it is good for longevity.
Yeah, you're right. Panchama Purusha Yoga always is an advantage for longevity. That also might be a point why God allowed him to survive. Kishore, you are not able to flip pages?
Actually, there are the pages that are relevant for medical astrology. I'm keeping it limited to 1 or 2. In fact, actually, today I was gearing up for the YouTube live, and that's the reason why I didn't screen.
Okay. Oh, okay. Got your point.
I share this screen, Guruji. This is what I share normally. Right?
Okay.
But
that YouTube YouTube sharing the Q&A, do you want it to be held on Sunday?
Anytime, Guruji. Even tomorrow. But tomorrow I think
No, tomorrow I have my regular class, BGNR 7.
What I felt, Guruji, is that we need to make it simple when we are doing YouTube. So that's the reason why I'm only going to keep this.
Okay. Just simple. Got it. You will just have the Rashi chart and maybe D3, Navamsha, and at least Dasha and Antardasha, no need, is it?
No, Dasha and Antardasha, I'll pull it up from here. Simple.
Oh, like this. Okay. Okay. That's all. Correct. Enough.
Premise is to see whether the static potential shows the problem and then to correlate with whatever the native is going to ask regarding timing, So what time it erupted and
then we go to that chart. Okay.
It will be like, too much of an information or information overload will be there.
Correct. Yeah. It won't look nice. Good. Then Sunday 8 p.m. Is it fine? Indian Standard Time 8 p.m. live stream. People will directly ask questions. We'll take at least 1 hour or 1 hour and 15 minutes.
I feel 1 hour is also not sufficient. When people are asking for remedies, sometimes for a native it goes for a longer duration. And some people, they feel left out, So
1.5?
Yeah, 1.5. I think 2 hours is also fine because people are there watching. Even from the Patreon student section, there are people who are watching.
Okay.
The point is actually today I am very happy on 2 counts. One is that Pavni ji and Soumya ji and Gautam, they all were able to find the affliction, the zone of affliction in the body.
Oh.
That was one thing which I was, I was happy because that was the direction I wanted to take this entire research into.
Very good.
Actually, when someone asked, I think it was Pavanji who asked whether we could go from the chart into the zodiac sign, into the affliction.
Okay.
Then at that time it was an uphill task because there were too many significations for a particular element in astrological charts. If you take so many significations of Saturn, you take Sun, so many significations. How do you zone in on afflictions?
Okay.
At least by giving them a chart and asking them today, there were 3 charts that were discussed, and the first chart had it easy on the chart. The script was easy to read. This second chart was difficult actually, and even before that, there was one chart. I think we covered it when the people are not there. So I think I'll send that recording as a separate recording.
Okay.
That was I think me and Gautam did it. I'm not sure whether we did a chart or was it a general discussion. So
okay. I want all of you to just have a look at this page. This could be very useful for you. A very strange concept in health. Surprise, okay, about the third house. These are places we generally tend to ignore, okay? But my software always reminds me, the one which I use for my consultation. So there's a key word here is influence of third house by grahas strangely causes health problem. The sun, danger to life through king, government, usually when court cases are there and so on, or king-like people, very powerful. I later included in my mind, I included doctors also doing the same. Doctors getting people into trouble because they're also like a sun. Moon, tuberculosis. Mars, ulcers, weapon, wound, surgery, fire, chemicals. Mercury, fever. Guru, swelling or tumor. Venus, sexual or urinary, or bracket skin. Saturn, Rahu, poison, drowning, falling from height, confinement. Moon plus Saturn, worms, maybe bacteria, infection also. So this particular thing is very important, this third house. So keep an eye on it. Maharishi gives us some ideas like if benefics occupy third house, it will be in a good place. All that's not relevant. Only this one. Just this. Okay. Just keep it in your mind. There is a reason for you to look at the third house as well. So any interplay between the third house and these grahas will induce it. As in this case, can you instantly, without looking at the chart, tell me what is this slide and the chart that was shown by Kishorji and shared by Murahari? how do you connect the third to this sheet that we see and to the disease that the person went through?
Urinary, sir.
No, just take 1 minute and wait, and then tell me the answer. Do you have any planets in the third house?
No, sir.
Okay, then what next? If nobody is in the third, what is the next question you should ask?
Aspect.
Lord of the third house.
Lord
of third house. Okay, who said that? Lord of third house. Now, Lord of third house is with any of these people, that disease can come. With this sheet, what can you say now?
Tuberculosis.
That's all.
Yeah.
Okay, but this is just the beginning. Just the beginning of an idea.
There are two things, Guruji. One is the moon signifying tuberculosis, and the other is Venus signifying
the third house, the third lord.
Yeah.
The third lord sitting with the moon in the main chart.
Yeah, so Venus gives sexual and urinary. That was seen in this case also.
Very good, very good.
So
very
both of them are tallying.
Yeah. But when I read this in 1994, I was just thinking, why does the Maharshi bring third? And then I found out it is anyway the basis of longevity also. But maybe these diseases are more to do with karma, the third house. But you know how Maraka is calculated? The third house and the 8th house is Aishtana. The 12th from thereof is the 2nd and 7th house, Maraka. So the basis itself is third house only, 3 and 8. Okay, they're equal. But I never expected this, and it has come through. This idea has come through with me for a long time. I always used to, but of course you can expand. What else could moon mean, or what else could sun mean, and Mercury? Mercury, don't take it light. It's not like a ordinary graha. One of the top reasons for fever, and it's also for the nerves problem and so on. You get fits when the fever goes up. Have you seen that for children? When the fever goes up, they'll get fits. So fever, Mercury. So people think Mercury is a mild graha, not like Saturn, Rahu, Ketu. We all know that Mercury is like that. But we'll think Mercury is such an ordinary graha. It won't harm at all. So even in numerology, they say 5, no problem. Use 5 wherever you want. It won't hurt at all. It's actually wrong. Okay.
Guruji, there in the previous chart, we take Ketu in Rahu Saturn Rahu placement.
Which one?
In the screenshot which you have shown, Ketu is mixed there.
Okay.
So we take Ketu as where Rahu and Saturn is.
Yeah. Yes, correct. Okay. We can interchange Rahu and Ketu.
And one more question, Guruji. You said like moon in Rohini is tuberculosis, and moon in Shravana is autism. And what is moon in Hasta?
No, I didn't find any pattern. I didn't find any pattern.
Okay.
Yeah. Some of the times it stands out so clearly. In autism, one of the key point is that the child will not listen. Okay. You say something to the child will look somewhere else. So he says, Shravan, ears. Don't you have ears? Lend me your ears. Listen to what I say. So Shravan is having hearing problem. Don't take it literally. Some other time also say that they won't listen. So not capable of listening. Okay. Kishorji, can you move on to the next chart you wanted to? Or you're continuing the same?
The next chart we did with when you were not available actually.
Oh, okay. You finished, is it? I didn't know that. Okay.
No, it was another day actually in the past. I think it was Tuesday or Wednesday.
Okay.
Himaji, do you remember whether Guruji was there? I think, yeah. Himaji is waiting for your response actually.
No. Yeah, Kishorji. Guruji, we wanted to consult the final conclusion because we were not able to conclude which planet will
Which
go for the
horoscope? Can you flash the horoscope?
Yeah, Guruji, I'm giving it to you. Sorry, not this. 1 second.
Sir, in this chart, Saturn is aspecting the 8th lord and the 8th house also, sir.
This is the chart that was left. I mean, you were not there, I think, right?
Which one?
Did Guruji in the discussion?
Yeah, Guruji was there, but in the end, like no, some visitors came and he went.
No. That day Guruji was not there. We had the chart discussed on, I think, Wednesday. Tuesday only Guruji were there.
Okay, I can see one thing. I want to tell you, in the previous chart also, Mars, the Yoga Karaka, is in the 12th house. So that means the person, in spite of Lagna Lord being exalted, there was a weakness that the 4th and the previous chart, the 4th and 9th Lord went to the 12th in Nichasthana, right?
Yes.
So that is also a pointer. Always, when the Yoga Karaka designated planet for a Lagna goes to some Dushtana, a trick house, and additionally, now after staring at it, we find that Mars is also in Saturn Nakshatra, but Mars is debilitated and going towards peak debilitation, right? So always look for some permission from the chart. Without some major things like this happening, whenever Yoga Karaka goes to 6, 8, and 12, the person becomes susceptible. There is a susceptibility. But every time when the person was saved, maybe at that time you can say Lagna Lord is in exaltation.
Malavi Yoga, sir.
Yeah, you can use Malavi Yoga and so on. I want to also tell you, when you read overall horoscope and then the specific results, it's sometimes hard to understand the logics because you just look at it like this. If a king is killed by, let's say, someone, someone like assassinated, or in those days it used to happen quite often. How do you account for that? Can you just think about it? How will somebody become a king in this country, in a nation, or in a rajyam without any yoga? He must be having a lot of yogas, right, to become a king. Then for a king, something can go wrong. So that means even if you find some nice combination in the horoscope, it doesn't mean that the person is not susceptible to problems. There could be even one combination which leads to a problem, or a time-based. Like in a particular Vimshotri Dasha, Antardasha, a transit, the person will become weak and will have to go through the trouble. Look at Jayalalitha. She's inside the Apollo hospital. Nobody can even see her. God knows what happened there. But is she not a queen? So many big advantages in her chart, like that. So beyond a particular point, don't spend so much time thinking what saved him and all that. But because time constraint will be there. You got the disease, you identify the planets, and you tell them, please do these remedies just in case it shouldn't continue into the next life. I think I told you a story in the Nadi textbook where a disease continues for 3 lifetimes, right? So at least to the next lifetime, it shouldn't go. So you start aiming, once you find which planet is the reason, you start giving solutions connected to that planet. But nobody is going to take us seriously if you talk about next life anyway. At least you can say it will not recur again in this. At least we'll prevent it from coming back.
Sir, can I say one more point for this chat, sir?
Yeah.
Saturn is aspecting the 8th lord and 8th house, sir.
Saturn is aspecting the 8th lord. Is that correct? Is it Saturn is still aspecting Jupiter strongly?
26 same degree, sir.
No.
Same degree. Yeah.
I don't think it is so strong.
Not so
Maybe, yeah, it is not so strong. It should be maybe 60%.
Okay.
We can say it's a Kendra Sambandha because there is another type of Sambandha called Kendra Sambandha. That we can say, but not
Aspect.
aspect part is not applicable here because it's just 73%. So
yeah, I thought it was 65 something.
Yeah.
Right. And one more point, sir. The Ketu is in Gandanta and the Lord is debilitated, sir. The fourth.
Oh, yes. That's a nice point. Ketu in the fourth. And Ketu, once again in Mercury Nakshatra. Gandanta is a very nice point. It's definitely in true Gandanta. Good.
And its Lord is debilitated. Yeah.
See, some horoscopes will reveal something so perfectly. You look at it, you get it in every possible way, the answer, right? But some horoscopes are not like that. Yes. Can we go to the other one where you were expecting some inputs?
So, Guruji, let me update you here. In this chart,
Sun
saw some afflictions with regard to maybe Hemaji can tell us.
Ascendant is at 26 degrees. Rahu must have gone backwards into the 12th.
The second lord went to the 6th, Guruji. And the strange part is that there was a loan taken by this person.
Loan.
So, 6th house is the house of debts, right? And
correct.
6th lord is in Kumbha, in the 8th house. So, this person had taken some debts, and I'm giving the facts not as Himaji gave, but in a way it correlates with what happened astrologically.
Okay, 6th lord in the 8th.
Yeah, the 6th lord in the 8th, and then on top of that, the 2nd lord in the 6th. So he had taken debts, and he was in serious debts for the sake of buying a land and then buying property and all that. Strange thing, the moment the debts got cleared, something else surfaced.
What? I didn't understand that last line.
Yeah. The moment the debts, the 6th house, they decided to clear the debts, and though the debts were there for almost 20 years, at that time, when the debts were cleared by the native over a period of 20-25 years, exactly at that moment in Dasha Bhukti, the medical problem appeared, and that was blood cancer. So this was the finding that we had from this chart. So I'll go slow with this because I think this is an important point for all of us to understand that whenever there is an affliction or a malefic in the 6th house, even though it is Sun, he is the second lord, the Maraka, the only Maraka for cancer, the most important Maraka. He is in the 6th house. And as long as they were in debts, the problem of blood cancer was not had not erupted at that time. When did it erupt, or when did they come into knowledge, awareness that there is a blood cancer? At that time, exact time when the loans were cleared, and that was the time when he was diagnosed, or he came out as having blood cancer. So in a way, actually we hear one thing frequently, that whenever there is an affliction to the 6th house, we need to be under some sort of a debt, or we need to put some stress by way of sports. The 6th house is that of sport. And another thing I want to say is that 6th house is also for pets. So these remedies are coming from all directions whenever I keep thinking about the 6th house. So the dasha of the 6th, or any dasha of a graha that is in the 6th, and these are the times when these things will surface, taking loans and all that. And when the moment we think that loan should not be there, then that will come out in another direction. So in a way, it's like a karmic thing. So now the question asked by Himaji was, what are the remedies that we should tell to this person who is now battling with blood cancer? Is there any way that we can ease the pain?
Wait a minute. Is this a person who got married at 40? Something like that?
No, that was Srividya's chart.
Oh, that is another chart.
Another story. Yeah. She got late marriage, and when she got married, other things started.
For her, Moon Rahu conjunction was there, I think.
I'll put it up. What is that?
No. Don't confuse. We'll stay here.
Yeah. In fact,
that was the meeting I attended. Okay.
Yeah, that was a very instructive chart. We learned that, and even in this also we found it out, and we were able to.
I want to give you a very nice idea when you start developing on the cancer thing. I've used it many times in my life, and unfortunately, I made correct predictions also about cancer many years before the event happened. One of the things I constantly noticed was at least a minimum 6th lord in the 8th, 8th lord in the 6th.
Oh.
Minimum. Okay. The moment I see 6th lord in the 8th or 8th lord in the 6th, my antenna, something, I have to be very careful with this person. I have to guide them properly. There could be a mistake. This is something that I observed so many times in practice. Sometimes I'm a little careful also, but instead of telling them there is a possibility, I tell them have a lot of food rich in antioxidants and consume omega-3 foods and so on. Keep do a lot of breathing exercise, have a stress-free life, whatever comes, and then little bit of the planetary remedies. As in this case, I would have given maximum Saturn remedies, right? Because you have Saturn and Saturn and Ketu in the 7th as the 8th lord in the 7th. When the 8th lord, the 8th lord in the 7th comes, 8th lord in the 7th aspects Lagna. Okay, and in this case, it aspects Lagna lord as well. At one shot, Saturn, the 8th lord, covers Lagna and Lagna lord. And unfortunately, in this horoscope, Moon is in Saturn Nakshatra. So much of Saturn. So
Saturn is in Moon's Nakshatra, Parivartana.
Oh, yeah. I missed that. Yeah. Saturn in Moon Nakshatra as well. So there is a Nakshatra heavy connection, right? Moon in Saturn Nakshatra, Saturn in Moon Nakshatra. One is Maraka, other
But
is
I
the.
think Saturn is aspecting Moon also, right? Or no?
Yeah. I saw that. Saturn aspecting Moon I saw. And then Moon in Saturn Nakshatra. And then Kishorji added, Saturn is also in Moon Nakshatra. That's very, strong. So in this scenario, even before you shift Rahu backwards in the Bhava chart, you must give a weightage that Rahu is in Moon's area only. Okay, and Saturn and Rahu are on that axis before you shift it in the Bhava chart. So there is some pressure here. When was the blood cancer, having at least first appeared? That planet will give us a clue.
Yeah, it was diagnosed 2021, I think.
No, she said.
End 21.
Yeah.
Beginning.
Starting.
Okay, we'll take.
I think it was Rahu.
No, Hemaji, it was Moon Jupiter.
Moon Jupiter. Okay.
I think it is Moon because I can make a wild guess because Moon figured out so many times. So it should be Moon. Okay.
Yeah, Kishorji, Guruji, also after this blood.
Your voice is very feeble. Hemaji, you need to improve your.
Is it any better, Kishorji?
Can you improve further?
Sometimes, ladies speak very softly. Even that also might be.
Okay. Is it any better now?
No. Anyways, we'll try to guess what your question is. Please speak.
No. She is just confirming it is 2020 December and 2021 January. Can you just say December itself, 2020, what was the Dasha and Antardasha?
Moon Rahu, Guruji.
See, definitely Moon. Because blood cancer. Right? Yeah. It has to be Moon. And Moon Rahu. Rahu is an Ashtamadhipati placed in the 12th bhava. Right? It's definitely in the 12th bhava. So, Moon Rahu, great chances because it's Ashtamadhipati, right? Rahu. Or Rahu is in Saturn Nakshatra. So many times.
So, Guruji, one more thing that occurred with on this particular chart was like with this native was after blood cancer, after a year or so, there was another diagnosis that is for piles problem, and
Okay.
it was one of the very rare cases as per the doctors that who have treated him. Within a year's time, there were 3 surgeries done on him for the piles problem, and it was so severe that the doctors were telling that generally the first surgery itself, we do not see the occurrence uh, for 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 a year or so, but in his case, within weeks it was regrowing,
Oh,
and he had 3 surgeries within a year, Guruji. And one like the first one was the normal traditional one, but then they went for a laser treatment, and as per Chennai's best doctor that can be taken as in consultation and who can do the surgery, he was very surprised, and he said that in my lifetime, in so many years of my experience, I haven't seen such a case where within 3 months of the laser surgery, a patient is coming back with the pain, and we had to go for another surgery for the patient.
what's the doctor's name?
He's from I think some hospital in Perangudi. I think I'm not too sure
Does
about
his
it.
name start with PR sound?
I'm not too sure, Guruji. I
Okay,
need
okay.
to check on that. So it is very strange. He's still not able to recover back-to-back surgeries, and last 1 year, 1.5 years has been very very terrible. And given that he's also undergoing this continuous treatment for the blood cancer, which for which the doctors have said that maybe until his lifetime he would have to take the medicine. This is been another issue that has come up, and uh, I mean, as Kishorji said, after the time, he completely paid off his debt, he retired from his services. The health issues have occurred, and it's been very
But even this, the operation, piles operation, all of it happened in Chandra Rahu?
I think I'm not having the Dashanta Dasha, but I can give you the dates. It was 2022 first.
Kishorji, do you have the Dasha and Antardasha?
Yeah.
The
Tell me, Himaji.
first surgery was in June 2022.
2022.
Moon Jupiter, Guruji.
Moon, Jupiter, the person is okay. But the blood
And,
cancer alone was Moon Rahu.
Correct. And second surgery, March 23, and third surgery in May 23.
All of it in Moon Jupiter?
Moon Saturn. The third time it happened was Moon Saturn.
Moon Jupiter also.
Yeah. So
Moon Jupiter is straightforward, right? Because Jupiter is both Dushtana from both Lagna and from Dashanath. And that is the planet which is the 6th lord in the 8th. And 8th is which part of the body?
Actually, there are two problems here, Guruji, that I noticed. One is that Jupiter has gone third from itself in, if you look at, if you take Jupiter's placement, third from itself is again, Jupiter in third, we say it's not a good placement, right? For that bhava. For this bhava, the Lagna Lord going to third from itself. That is one point. Another point is, for the 9th, it has gone 12th.
Correct. But more important that Parashara's, BPH's method of reading, Moon Jupiter will be
212. Right,
it is in 12th from Dashanath, it is 8th from Lagna. So you have to read all the negative things, like Pavni is having the book. She has to read everything negative in Moon Jupiter. In Moon Saturn, they should have done a Mahamrityunjaya Homa, Mahamrityunjaya mantra practice, and stopped, do all the Saturn remedies, because this is a very powerful, because as already the sixth lord is in the eighth. So Jupiter, eighth house is typically the excretion point. Always. The eighth house in the body is the excretion point. So, and Saturn rules the excretion, the last part. They were, so this is primarily due to Saturn. So when Saturn Antardasha starts, the Maharshi definitely says you please donate a black cow in charity and all that. Otherwise, there will be more health problem. Now, how is the health now? She is still in Saturn? Moon Saturn?
Moon Saturn is going on till 2024. And then
okay, then straight away ask him to go for this Mahamrityunjaya Homa if he's a Chennai guy. Ask him to go to this Ayyappa Prarthana Mandir in Egmore. They do it very well. And it's not very expensive, but they do it extremely well for the money that we give them. It is fantastic. I went several times there for my own. Every time Saturn Antardasha, I went there. Because for me, it is my second lord. So this is a case of, Saturn afflicts Karkadaga the maximum. Because though Moon doesn't consider Saturn as enemy, Saturn considers Moon as its enemy. And Sade Sati is only Saturn afflicting the Moon. So this Saturn looking at Moon also is an additional point. That all the first one, the blood cancer came in Moon Mahadasha. And Moon Rahu cropped up. Why? Do you know the speciality of Moon Rahu? Without referring the book, quickly make a wild guess. What is the speciality of Moon Rahu?
Illusions or...
No. Straight from Parashara only. No guessing, nothing. But you should have read the book before. Then you read the book. What is the peculiarity? Rare.
This ferocious animals, fear of ferocious animals.
Attacked by wild animals.
He's asking about what?
No, that is not this. That is Rahu Chandra. That is Rahu Moon. This is Moon Rahu.
Mm-hmm.
You will be shocked if you read the text.
Is it spirits? No.
No. Okay. We have it right. Now you read it out, Pavani. Chandra Dasha Rahu Bhukti.
It's negative I have to read, sir.
No. The Vimshatri Dasha, BPHS.
Yes, sir. Dasha Antardasha results you are asking, right, sir?
Yeah. Is it so difficult to understand what I'm saying?
No, sir.
Imaginary problems combined.
Antardasha of the Rahu. If Rahu is an angle or trine from the ascendant, in the beginning there will be very little good results, and thereafter it will cause trouble from the enemies, great fear, theft, fright, danger from the king, disease to the animal.
Stop. What is the peculiarity here?
Angle and trine. Even angle and trine, there are...
See that? Even in angle and trine. Even in angle and trines, you know how it is?
Every time bad.
In Tamil, they say, Ekkadona Kettupo. You be wherever you want, but it's still bad. How will that statement be? Even in the best places itself, he says very little good. These are strange but true things in astrology. Okay. Then he says, okay, wait, it's not that bad. Maybe Rahu is in Upacharasthana 3, 6, 10, 11, and so on. Okay, something. But then again, he changes by saying if Rahu is in the 8th or 12th from Lagna or from the moon, again, a lot of bad things. But these are strange things. Like this, we have at least 7 of them in the Vimshatri Dasha. Please remember that. That's why that's why the person is so weak in this Rahu period, in Chandra Rahu. Okay, all of us will have to, be very careful in that. Now, this Saturn Antardasha is going. Ask him to listen to Hanuman Chalisa every day. Join up with VK Varman and give to physically challenged people. The downtrodden. Black cow charity, can he afford? Is he okay for? Can you convince him? So please convince him into this.
I'll try, Guruji.
Yeah, Mahamrityunjaya and so on. Okay. His lifestyle also would have added to this problem. I can make a wild guess. Something he was consuming also must have added.
Yeah, as per the doctors, outside food has been the main culprit.
Okay.
He's not an alcoholic. He's neither a smoker.
Oh, he doesn't
But
smoke or drink.
no. But he's been like, evenings having snacks outside food, fried items, all those things.
Okay.
Sixth Lord in the eighth, you're saying, right, sir?
Yeah.
Sir, you said one remedy, Ayyappan temple. Can you just?
No. In the Ayyappan temple, there is a. I mean, there are some 2-3 people who know to do the Mrityunjaya very well.
Okay.
Exactly according to the text. And then it is done right in front of the idol, Lord Ayyappa, because Ayyappa is also a particular form that is so closely connected to Saturn. Okay.
Which temple is that, sir? Where is it?
It is on Chinna Reddy Street. The Reddy has been removed, recently. The caste names have been removed. So it will be now simply Chinna Street. And it is off Egmore High Road. Okay.
Egmore High Road.
So anybody has Saturn Antardasha going on with Saturn having the Marakatva. But in this Maraka, it is not just 7th Lord, it is also 8th Lord. So based on that, the Marakatvam increases. So that's why the person is going through a lot of trouble. Okay. So moon itself is a basis for the problem, because moon is the Lagna Lord. Lagna Lord is always health. So if moon is aspected by Saturn, and so we already established moon, Saturn, moon connection. So give him all the remedies of Saturn. Okay. You know this person very well?
He's my brother-in-law, Guruji.
Oh, okay. Have you seen him handle low people, those who are in the servant class? How is he with them?
He's been very good to me.
Very good,
Guruji.
is it? Okay.
Yeah, he's been very good. He's been in government services. He's been very humble.
Very humble, is it? Okay.
Yeah, very humble, very, very kind. And he will not go and, look for any kind of quarrels or any disturbance to others. His own life, his family, his business. That's
He
it.
goes to temples regularly.
And no, that's the only thing that's a drawback. He's not a very big believer kind of thing.
Okay.
Whatever happen, like puja and all happens at home, he will be there, but he's not a very religious kind of person who visits temple or go for any kind of pilgrimage or kind of thing.
Okay. For the 9th Lord and the 8th, Kishorji is already marking the connection, as I mentioned it. It is better to become a Vishnu Bhakta.
Sir, is there any eclipse on this day? Can we check, sir? Because moon is
Yeah, must have been. Well, I don't know what is the year, the month and date. I do not know, but must be eclipse only. The eclipse fell. The eclipse. Yeah.
How do you say it's an eclipse, Pavaniji?
Oh, no.
And
No. The gap is wide. The gap is wide. It is not enough. 18 and 7. There 7 and here 12 is there, no? So 12 and 7, 22. I don't think it could have been eclipse.
The sun is at 18. That is only
12 degrees there, and there it is 7. 7 plus 12.
Can we see that? Can we have the time, year and month at least?
No. I just checked, Pavaniji. It is not eclipse.
It's not
It's
eclipse.
not. Okay.
It's not in the eclipse month, right?
One thing that I wanted to tell is that Pavaniji, you still have that chapter with you, the Moon Rahu chapter, Dasha.
I have it.
Does
Yes,
it
I
mention
have.
anything? Yeah, does it mention anything about when Rahu is 12th placed in Dusthana?
Yeah.
Can you read?
Fear. It says.
Oh, you're saying because Rahu is in the 12th.
Yeah.
No,
Because
you have
Yeah,
the
can
12th,
you
you
please
know.
have Bhava chart, Kishorji, somewhere? That'd be really helpful.
No, just put it in the mind. Now we are all experts.
yeah, I put the power chart. The reason I didn't want to pull it inside is because it will change the ratio. You know, when you watch.
Yeah, don't do that. Do it in the mind.
Looks
And
very
now I have the text with me. If Rahu is in the 12th from either Lagna or from Dashanath, loss of position, mental agony, distress to spouse and children, danger of disease, danger from the king. King is all these hospitals nowadays. Scorpions and snake poison, allergic injections, all this I changed it. But basically it is scorpions and snakes. Okay, so very dangerous things.
Another thing.
1 minute before you continue. See the thing about all this badly placed and all that. We have even if Rahu was placed in Kendra, Trikona itself, he says thieves and snakes, all those things once again, right? Loss of reputation, mental agony, all that, and then adds that 8th and 12th from Dasha. Now, suppose you say, no, Maharshi didn't mention about from Lagna. So the trick here is, whatever is written from Dashanath, if not mentioned for ascendant, you always use it for ascendant also. Do you understand what I'm saying? Suppose in the text, he has not given specifically from Lagna 6, 8 and 12, right? I mean, at least 8 and 12. He has only mentioned from Lord of Dasha. So where is from Lagna? You say it's missing. No. In that case, what you do, whatever is written for from Lord of Mahadasha, you use from ascendant also. When it is not mentioned. It's not that Maharshi forgot. Maybe Maharshi would have thought, okay, by now you people know. So I'm not repeating it.
That was the exact point I mentioned 2 days back.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, is it? I didn't know that. Okay.
Many things that you spoke today was discussed, Guruji.
Oh, okay. Oh, I didn't see that video. I just copy pasted it and made a video out of it. I didn't do proper going through it. Okay.
In fact, that was actually a very big surprise for me, because when I asked whether the person had taken a loan and she said yes, it was a big loan. And then I asked, when did the loan end? Because I was suddenly getting the dots connected. The moment the loans ended, the problem started, the medical problems. So this is like that chart which we saw. Remember Guruji Srividya's reference?
Okay.
Same thing happened here also. And the reason why I'm talking about all this is because whenever we see the dasha of a planet which is Trishadaya Lord, for example, in my case, it's Mercury, then whenever there is some danger of stress or mental agony, it's better to be in something that you are controlling it. Of course, we can't say that for sure it will work, but when we are able to control that stress and invite it upon ourselves, then it's better to be in that controlled environment, the stressful but controlled environment. Like, for example, in debts, we know it's a known thing, right? We take it consciously, and we are then constantly thinking what will happen if I am not able to repay.
This is based on the idea that when already you're going through a loss period, the Maharshi says donate again. So it's again losing one more time.
Yeah.
So it is like saying you don't do opposite of it. I use this idea many times. If somebody is drinking and I ask them, why are you drinking like this? They'll say, I'm in great trouble. Then I'll say, if you're in great trouble, you must be running a bad dasha and antardasha. It wants you to be in trouble. But look at what you're doing. You're trying to make yourself happy by drinking. So it is a contradiction totally. Because what the grahas want is it wants you to suffer, and instead you are dousing it and covering it up with drink.
Escaping.
Because you're numbing it, right? You're escaping, correct. If you escape, the punishment increases. As in the case when a prisoner escapes the jail, they'll even shoot him down. Right? There's a big manhunt and they'll make a big hue and cry and they can do anything to punish that person because you escaped. So surrendering is the best
analogy, Guruji. Good analogy. Good way to remember it. But Guruji, I had one question about this ninth. Jupiter is in the ninth bhava, right? I think I have to get better at calculating.
No. Jupiter is not in the ninth. No. It is in the 8th.
26 degree, 20 minutes ascendant is
minus 15. So Jupiter is not in that area where it will change. Only Rahu goes back. Mars
Only
also
Rahu
goes back. No, Mars also goes back. Mars gets into
Mars will also go back. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, Mars
will
get
go
into
into the first bhava, right?
Yeah, ascendant.
Yeah.
Venus will go to the 4th, and maybe Mercury also will shift. Mercury and Ketu will shift. So Mercury and Ketu will shift to 6th house, correct? Even Mercury will shift. We have a tight conjunction between Mercury and Ketu. Was that discussed?
Yeah.
I just
No.
7 degree and 7
same degree, yeah.
Same degree is something that you have to always, give importance. So what is it? It is, one of them is 5th lord and the other one is the 12th lord. 5 and 12 connection in the 6th house.
No, Guruji. Mercury and Ketu.
That's what.
In the
Ketu is the co-lord of the 5th.
Yeah.
Co-lord of the 5th in conjunction with the 12th lord in 6th. That's very bad, right? So the 12th house is now afflicted. No, this is many times in Dasha Antardasha, we always felt the Bhava chart reveals more than the Rashi chart.
Yes, definitely.
So even today I had a reading, I think, where just the Bhava chart proved everything, why things happen. In this case, you have to read Rahu in the 12th and read that Vimshottari Dasha. You know how you have to read it? Even if it is placed in Kendra Trikona, it is bad. What will it be when it is in 8 and 12?
But if I'm not mistaken, Rahu 11th from Moon or 11th from Dashanath or 11th from Lagna would be better, right?
Yeah, definitely. But in this case, what happened? Rahu has an additional problem that he became the 8th lord in the 12th. So that is another problem. That 8th lord in the 12th, people think sometimes we use Viparita Raja Yoga and say bad lord in bad place, very nice. But 8th lord in the 12th is definitely targeting, can I reduce your lifespan? Surely. The 8th lord in the 12th. Very bad. So beware of Viparita Raja Yoga concepts. Don't dilute the subject by saying, I know 8th lord in the 12th is good. 8th lord in the 12th is very bad. Okay? It reduces lifespan.
So the remedies that we had suggested for Hemaji Guruji was one was Saturn-based remedy, and the other was, I was thinking of even a moon-based remedy, because moon had a double whammy by both Mars and Saturn. So I asked Hemaji if we could do something, to ask Guruji whether we could do something with moon-related remedies. Moon being the Lagna lord and being afflicted by Saturn. So would that also work, Guruji?
See, the trick is, if a Lagna lord gets afflicted, you first start wearing more pearls. Okay, the pearl ring on the ring finger, but only in silver. Okay. Then, second, you always look at who is the greatest afflictor. The greatest afflictor in this horoscope on the Lagna factor is surely none other than Saturn. So put all the remedies on Saturn. Okay, all of them. So Saturn nakshatra, Saturn dates like 8, 17, 26 Saturdays. All of this, you must be able to, do a lot of this Saturn remedies.
Can we say, Guruji, that even this Purnima and Amavasya day, the worship should be done? Because it is like a Shiva puja for during the full moon and the the new moon day, when moon is also afflicted. And we connect it with Lord Shiva, because Lord Shiva
Correct.
is also one for.
He's having a moon. He's having a moon, right? A crescent.
He's also the god for pacifying Shahs.
Correct.
That,
Yes. But right now, since the Shani Antardasha is still not over, he is in a temporary Sade Sati because Moon Saturn is like Sade Sati. Any connection between Moon and Saturn is bad. In Dasha Antardasha connection, like in this case, Nakshatra connections.
Guruji,
So,
actually, it is a Sadasati for him, no? Because Moon is in Pisces.
no, I'm saying Sade Sati from Dasha Antardasha idea.
And
Whenever
even
it is
then,
Saturn, even otherwise separately he is going through Sade Sati, right?
yeah.
That's what you're saying. Yeah. So separately Sade Sati, but in Dasha Antardasha, whenever it comes together, is also like Sade Sati. In this case, it is very strong because Saturn is simply opposite the Lagna factor. Okay. So Sade Sati remedies, top 8 facts about Saturn, my video you watch, and tell him as much as possible, crow feeding, always feed the crow before breakfast. And join up with VK Varman to help physically challenged people. Okay,
Sure.
old age homes and so on. Saturn rules primarily the colon area, the anal area. That is one of the. Because Saturn is what?
in Tamil, they say Ali Graham.
Not that. It is. I mean, you can say it is like
Something
the
of the
opposite.
last.
Yeah. Use the keywords like last, and it's always the 12th house Karaka. In 12th house, what happens? You lose. You always push out things you don't want. These are all waste.
Excretion,
So in the house, you don't keep any old items. Start, locating all the unused items and see if they're not damaged. Can you give it off to an old age home or throw off all the clutter, all that which has to be pushed out. Okay, how much ever you can. So when you start sharing, you can control the piles problem. Okay.
Sure.
Actually, there are a lot of things in this chart which we have not covered, Guruji. A lot of things. Like, for example, you see the combination of Mercury and Saturn and Ketu here, which denotes something else actually. Because we see that Mercury is the 3rd lord and the 12th lord. And we also see Saturn is the 7th and the 8th lord. 7th and 8th is like Ayush Karak and the Marak as usual. And then connecting all these dots, we can say probably going to a temple or renovating temples, whatever Saturn based remedies, connecting with elders and connecting with the 3rd house activities. Whenever we do any good activity, it is definitely going to impact this house also, the 9th house. So on that basis, we see a lot of remedial measures in terms of charities, donations, helping orphanages, helping people in distress. Because we also need to take care of this Jupiter also, who is in the 8th. So
see, all this is generally, what will you say, bad luck, right? Because Hema says, the doctor is saying, this doesn't happen, right, Hema?
Yeah. Something rare.
Something rare. The doctor say, for our type of skills, this is uncommon, right? We are not used to this. We are experts. We have done it so well, but for him it doesn't work. You know what is that? Bad luck. So that means luck factor. The 9th lord is weak. The 9th lord has gone to 8th, and it is spelling that result as a 6th lord in the 8th. So which result will be more now? If a designated good planet goes to Dushtana, do you know which house will get activated? 6th house will get activated. It rules 6 and 9, right? One bad house and one good house. Now, you think 6th house will not work at all for Karkataka Lagna person? It will work. But it will work very surely if the planet is in Dushtana.
And that too in Rahu Nakshatra, sir.
Yeah, that is another point we missed. Okay, we didn't see that. Guru is in Rahu Nakshatra. Is everybody fine with this idea that if two houses are owned by one planet, how much of 6th house result it will give, how much of 9th house result it will give? 9th house it is not going to give result, and therefore it is a bad luck to have 9th lord in Dushtana. Everybody is fine with that idea? So one fundamental weakness in the chart that Maharshi says the person is unfortunate, right? That's what the doctors are saying. It's so unfortunate that we are such experts, but it didn't work for you.
And if you look at the Navamsha Guruji, the same story is coming out. So, for example, in Navamsha, we see the 7th Lord going to the 8th and afflicted by the 7th Lord, afflicted by going by placement as well as by conjunction, tight conjunction with Rahu Ketu. Okay. And along with the 8th Lord, and that is one thing that is spelling in Marakasthana, the 2-8 axis.
Okay.
So that is one affliction we see there. And then we see one more affliction I saw here.
We can see how strong the Mars is here because it is Yoga Karaka planet and it is in Ketu Nakshatra. Maybe we can see how strong Mars here is.
So even Navamsha is throwing that affliction to Sun, Guruji.
Navamsha.
Jupiter is in Vargotama.
And is in Lagna. D9. Even Saturn is not Vargotama, right?
And Yoga Karak in the Navamsha, Yoga Karak has gone to the 6th. And there's a Parivartana there, which is good.
What do you think about 12th Lord in the 6th house?
In which chart, Guruji?
In this chart, 12th Lord is in the 6th.
You mean in Navamsha?
No, Bhava chart.
Oh, okay.
It is specifically, the 12th house is more Saturn in nature. And 12th is more hospitals and hospitalization and so on. So the Roga and hospital gets connected. Again, here we cannot use Viparita Raja Yoga because the 12th Lord in the 6th is bad. Completely bad, according to Parashara himself. So what when Hema said, what are the, I think she didn't ask, someone else asked. It's a very, it's not good to, unless the person themselves come and ask us, what did I do last time? Otherwise, it's not a good practice to try to guess what they might have done. But I'll give you a clue. Whatever the Maharshi has written for all these Lord's houses in different houses, and if you find anything there which is negative, you connect the past life to that. But there's no point discussing it now because they have to ask us why. Okay, I know what was the problem in the past life, but if they come and ask us, then we can say, but then of what use is that today? Okay. Instead, what I'll say is that let him do the Saturn remedies, and at least Hema told me he's not drinking and smoking to that extent. Great. So increase the charity and sharing to reduce the 12th house impact. How much he can share. Okay. And ask him to go back to the gods and wear an yellow sapphire on the index finger. That is to strengthen the 9th Lord, which is weak. Whenever you're talking about any house, the dispositor is very important. If you say the Lagna Lord went to Jupiter's house, who is the dispositor? Jupiter. Jupiter has gone to 8th house. So that is a minus on the Lagna. Okay. And another way of reading it is, first try to connect all the Trikonas. 159. How is 159 in this? Between themselves? Take for example Moon. Who is the fifth lord? Mars. How is Moon and Mars?
6-8.
6-8. Sashtashtaka. Then stop that and then go to 9th and 1st. 212. Right? So these are used as, piling up for good luck and bad luck. So the more combinations like this you are able to locate, then you should guess that some bad luck is there. And on top of that, if you say he is not so much into gods, then it will further weaken the all these houses, 9th, because Jupiter is so much God, Guru. So this Mata, Pita, Guru, Devam, all of that is 9th house. So this person also has an indirect weakness, 9th lord in the 8th. And all this, the people who make us all right is like godly. So doctors are supposed to be like gods. If our karma is good, the doctor will become God. That means God is a savior and doctor also will be the savior. Okay.
Moon and Jupiter are in Mrityu Bhaga and ascendant is in Sarpadrekana.
Oh, okay.
And
can I add that? Yes.
Low score is for Mars and Mercury once again.
Okay.
This is for our research purpose, right?
Okay.
We see the patterns repeatedly coming up.
Correct. So, is the question answered, Hema? Shall we end the session?
Yes, Guruji.
Okay. My opinion, just say, why not go back to the, to the gods? Okay.
Sure, Guruji. I'll try.
But he's not an
next
atheist,
time.
right? He's not an atheist.
He's not an atheist, but is not a very religious as well.
Okay.
Why was this question asked about the atheist, Guruji? Is it because of the 9th lord in the 8th?
See, sometimes I feel as a statement in astrology books may not be actually a prediction. It can be a suggestion. Okay. If Lagna Lord is in the 9th, what is the statement that Maharshi says? What will the person be?
Vishnu Bhakta.
Vishnu Bhakta. Is the person a Vishnu Bhakta? Is he a God Bhakta?
Not
because a Muslim also will have Lagna Lord in the 9th. A Christian also will have, any religion person will have possibility of Lagna Lord in 9th. Are they Vishnu? No. Vishnu means God. Okay. Now, is this person going to the gods? No. Then what do you make of these statements? It means we better do that. So sometimes such statements are also an idea, a remedy unto itself. Please do it. If there are debaters here, they'll say, if it is there, why is he not a Vishnu Bhakta? That means Parashara is wrong. That's why I'd like to rephrase it by saying, all the time, this is not a prediction. This is also a suggestion. Have you understood what I'm trying to say?
The element of Desh Kal Patra.
No. I'm saying, for example, if
they're almost wishing, like Parashara is almost, Sage Parashara is almost wishing that do this.
You please do it if you're not doing it yet. But many people are already doing it. I met a Christian, a real Pakka Christian from USA, who has memorized Bhagavad Gita. having Lagna Lord in the 9th as Jupiter. Okay. Now I showed him the text, but then I myself admitted to him that not everybody is like this. Okay. So I want to prove a point. When the Maharshi says, if the 5th Lord is in the 6th house, he will adopt a child. Have you seen anybody's horoscope having 5th Lord in the 6th? Have they adopted? Have they adopted?
Yes, yes.
They have not adopted. Then we have to just just ignore astrology. We have to ignore Maharshi Parashara saying, Maharshi, please get up. We want to ask you a question. You said if somebody has 5th Lord in the 6th, he'll adopt a child. And here are hundreds and hundreds of people not adopting. Okay. So it's like, I'll rephrase it for you. If Dhilip is not studying Hindi properly, he will soon go to a Hindi teacher like that. What is this? Prediction or suggestion? Just wait.
Yeah.
We'll all hide here. Huh? We'll just watch. We'll look at that boy. Just very soon he will be going towards a Hindi teacher.
For people who are not aware, they will think, oh, what a miraculous prediction. Yeah.
Fantastic prediction, they'll say. And I on my own will be pushed into it. Situations will push me. So I have understood most of astrology like this. If Sage Bhrigu says if Sun is in the 9th house, he'll be a Surya Bhakta, I know most people are not even worshipping Sun, though it is the 9th. What they're getting is a side effect. Then they'll say, my father is not, I'm not in good terms with my father. So then I understood, if you want your relationship with father intact, you must become a Sun devotee. Like that. So just read the text, and from that you can guess what the person must have done before, the past life. It's easy to find out.
Sir, I have here one more point, sir. If we see the major aspects of Saturn and Mars, can we see it, sir, so that we know one more point?
Saturn is looking at Mars, yeah, correct. And Mars is, but Mars is looking at Saturn? I don't think so.
It is 1.6, sir, Mars degree. So Mars is more towards the ascendant.
Not aspecting Saturn.
No.
Saturn
Mars is not aspecting Saturn. I think it is 0.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Saturn is aspecting Mars.
Saturn is aspecting Mars 80%, I think.
And the Lagna also.
Yeah. No, Kishorji can say whether I'm right.
Yeah.
80%?
86, Guruji.
86%. Okay. I don't have the exact calculations, but I can do it in the mind because I know.
Guruji, we have to learn to do this in the mind. Because when I don't see it, I feel crippled almost.
Okay.
But I think Kishorji's sessions will force me to practice more and more in the mind.
If I had a say, Soumyaji, and if I knew you were here, I would have only showed this much of the screen.
Oh God.
No,
but I have to practice. Guruji is able to do exact percent, 62, 66.
You see, when Guruji explained in one of his videos how to calculate planets in the Navamsha and all those things, I kept watching that video so many times. At that time, I'll know and I'll think, okay, now next chart I will do it. And then after 2 days, I'll be back to square one.
No.
Navamsha is probably the only one I can do in the mind.
No.
Other than that, I'm always struggling.
What is the problem? I mean, what is the minus for all of you is that you came straight into software. I started my astrology with my notebook.
Yeah.
I started with my pen, the table of houses, the ephemeris. And if this chart, if you give me this detail without the software, I'll create the Rashi, Navamsha, Dashamsha, all the major charts, Dasha and Antardasha in exactly 1 hour.
Wow.
Without the software.
Guruji, can you teach us, Guruji?
I can, but okay. It's such a, it will be like child's play for you. It will be like 5th standard stuff.
Yeah, I know, but then
it will be like, are you really serious in this? Because when I did it, one of my students from, my friends in school, one fellow walked into my office and said, "Inada, day, ni maths la horrible arunda. How do you do all this?"
No, Guruji, the reason why I'm asking is because I don't want to depend entirely on
You see,
computer.
right now you're not showing the Navamsha, right? Okay,
No.
you're not showing the Navamsha.
No.
Now, can you make a quick guess where the sun will be in Navamsha?
Gautam, are you here?
I already got the answer.
Okay.
Where the sun is in Navamsha. Anybody quickly reply, where is the sun in Navamsha?
1 minute, sir. Doing it.
I won't answer because I'm seeing it. So I will check the answer.
I think it's in Virgo.
Correct. How did he say Virgo?
It's in Sagittarius and 18 degrees divided by 3.2. So comes to 6th house. Starts from Aries.
Starting from Aries. Correct.
Yeah.
So starting from Aries, one Navamsha is 320, 320, 320. 10 is over in Mithuna. Another 10, I won't even do this much. I'll say 10, 10, and I'll know it is in Virgo.
Yeah, like 1320. Once 1320 is over, then it goes
so
to...
Parameshwar also used the same idea that he used, because he didn't do even 320, 320, 320. He didn't add it up at all. He knew 3 of them is 10 degrees. And then the next 10 degrees is 20. So that is the last one will be 1640 to 20. And he placed the sun there. Now we'll do one more quickly. Where is Jupiter in Navamsha?
Same place, Vargottama.
Very good. Very good. How did he do it? How did he do, Parameshwar?
Same. 10 is a 3. Like Jupiter is
same idea. Same idea.
Starts from Libra.
Chara Rashi. I mean Capricorn.
Guruji here.
Right? And then the next one would be Libra.
No. Jupiter counting starts from Libra.
Okay. So Libra.
Okay.
And then.
So from there, Libra will be 3. Libra will be 0 to 320. The next will be 640. The next will be 10. The next will be 1320. So 1320 to 1640 will be Jupiter.
Aquarius.
So Jupiter is Vargottama. So even if you are given the bare chart with just the degree and all other charts are not there, at least Navamsha you can get it very quickly like this. Dashamsha, a little bit practice you need, 3 degree, 3 degree, and the formula you should know. But at least Navamsha you should know. All of us should know. And
also, Guruji, the middle of a Sthira Rashi is always Vargottama planet.
Yeah, that is because right? That's the way it is, right? Yeah. The middle of
first half of Chara Rashi is Vargottama, middle of Sthira is Vargottama, and the last of the dual sign is
Ubaya. The Ubaya Rashis.
Ubaya Rashi.
The last of the Ubaya will be always Ubaya. That is, it will be Vargottama. Very nice, very nice. That's a very nice rule where you can quickly pounce upon Vargottama at least, right? Without doing too many things in the mind.
Did you get it, Soumyaji?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's what I said. This was a Sthira Rashi center, so it will be Vargottama.
Very nice. Fantastic.
You're asking me, right, Kishore?
Sir,
you're taking
sir, can I read
shortcuts?
Yeah.
Sir, can I read
actually, when you do it first time with the manual calculation, you will feel so happy that you're able to do it without the software. that ephemeris and table of houses. Okay.
No, when we go to YouTube, Guruji, they give us so many methods, we get confused.
Okay.
And then when I landed up on that video of yours, it was so easy. And then in that video, you gave a shortcut, I think.
Yeah, but I want to tell you something. Please don't take it so seriously. I mean, at least, you don't have to copy what I did. Because I'm pretty sure I was an astrologer in the past life. Okay. So that must have helped me, because the speed at which I learned it was very different. And I want to tell you, I have no teachers at all. Okay. I didn't have any teacher. Most of the things was without teachers for me. All the things that I learned was without teachers. I always think that it was because of my Jupiter being debilitated that I was forced to do it again by myself and not have a guru. But fortunately for me, the Guru Nichabanga also, when I met gurus, they loved me a lot. They liked me a lot. And that was like, I felt so nice that, oh, thank God I studied it well. And they're able to appreciate that. That's why whenever I want, when I teach people, I love it because I used to think how lucky it would have been for me if I had teachers in the beginning itself. I didn't have to study all by myself. Okay, so I want to make more of us. So when I'm reborn, I'll have a great advantage that the world will have more and more people, right, in astrology.
One thing is for sure, Guruji, we will be all connected with you wherever you go, whichever birth you go.
It usually happens like that only.
Yeah.
Have you started noticing patterns between father and son, father and daughter, father and wife? Have you people started working on those things?
For that, we need connected charts.
I would like to, Guruji, yeah, but have not collected enough charts.
Yeah, we need databases, actually. Good databases.
Yeah, but like in my family, Mars in the 12th is like a karmic thing.
Today I had the good luck, bad luck of seeing a client where Rahu and Sun were 1 degree apart in both mother and child's chart. Do you have any idea of how rare that might be?
Yes, sir. 5 degrees. It's 1 degree is very, very, very rare, sir. Sun
1 degree, Sun Rahu. What will be the age gap between mother and child? And trying to get it back to the same spot? Impossible, right? Impossible. I am bored with this, actually, tell you the truth. Bored.
Same place, sir. Same position in the chart, sir.
Yeah.
Same Rasi.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So I want to tell you, please be on the lookout for strange things, patterns, and the universe will bless you with that. It'll allow you to spot it if you have a passion for it. When was Rohini Nakshatra? In the recent time? So 2 days back, right? 2 days back or something like that. Very close, right? Because we are on this side. Yeah, the moon is still not entered. I think it's still in Cancer. I mean Mithuna. Okay, so it's still not gone out. So Rohini must have been just 2-3 days back. Okay. On the day of Rohini, in the morning consultation, my client's name is Rohini.
Wow.
Is it good to have the names of the nakshatra names?
No, sir. No, you said no.
That is one of the first video that I made on Patreon.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yeah.
So the poor girl had gone through a lot of problems. But she comes on Rohini Nakshatra. Now, if you don't have a passion for astrology, you will not even notice it. So, suppose I tell you my wife's Lagna degree and my son's moon degree is the same. Okay? My moon and my son's Lagna is the same. So, my daughter, everybody, somehow or the other, there will be so many parallels. So, these are just proving astrology. So, first prove astrology to yourself and say, yes, I know. All the interesting things, you keep it in your mind. And when you start doing case studies, always say, wow. When you say, wow, don't take it off light. No, it's okay. So what? Big deal. When I say, do you know what is Moon Rahu? Strange but true. Maharishi says, go wherever you want and it's still bad. Oh my God, did he say that? be surprised. If Kishorji shows me a mate in 3, a very beautiful mate in 3, I'll say, wow. Then it will go off into my head so deep. If I say, okay, Kishorji, one more problem, okay. You will not remember it. You should always say, wow. And why are you remembering movies like that? Perfect memory. Because we are wowing it all the time. The moment Rajini does this, we will say, wow. I mean, whichever part of the world you are living, you are heroes. So you'll remember every scene because you were amazed by it. Amazement. So basically, for a horoscope to be lucky, you must have the Lagna Lord, the 5th Lord and 9th Lord good. So this is a primary condition. Okay. We don't want these people to go into Triksthanas. Right?
Sir, I want to read one from Bhrigu Sutram, sir, regarding the Mercury in 6.
Okay.
If Mercury is in the 6th, is associated with Saturn and Rahu or Saturn and Ketu, the native will suffer from diseases like rheumatism, shooting pains, etc.
See that? Others will miss it. I now remember showing this line to a doctor who said, I don't know from where this pain is coming. And the surprise is that he's a gastroenterologist. He came to me for consultation. And I showed him this text, what you just now read out. And he asked me, is there any way to go, for it to go? I said, please do Vishnu Sahasranam and this and that, but I don't know whether it went away. But he's saying, I don't know from where it comes. I think the words must have been something like Shula Vedana, something. I don't know the Sanskrit portion of that. You can check it up. So it'll be like a spear being put into your stomach. For those who have that.
Has piles, sir. This person has a piles problem.
Yeah, that's what. Piles will be heavy pain. It will be shooting. It will be so deep, the pain, as it will be pulsating, it will be like, because it's like, I think blood vessels and so on. So there will be too much of pain. People sometimes will bend, unable to stand up. That's why I said it's such a big. And though it is always called hemorrhoids,
It is Vata Shuladi Rogi says.
Oh, he's saying Vata Shuladi Roga. Okay. Vata Shula, that's what, that Shula. That Shula Vedana is like that piercing pain.
This
right?
Vata is because of Saturn, sir. Maybe you said Saturn is the main problem.
No. The key word
Shul
for
means-
Vata is digestion portion.
Shul means needle in Hindi, Guruji.
Correct. Piercing.
Kata.
Piercing.
Yeah.
That's a piercing pain. That's what it. Shula is the spear. No, the gods are having the Shula. Most
Sir,
of the gods.
you are telling something about the Vata, the indigestion and everything.
Because whenever you say Vata, the Vata sits in the intestine. First, it starts with indigestion, and it will go into constipation. Okay. From constipation, it will start. So, if the digestion was good, most probably piles won't come. Okay. So, correct the food. I think Goa, in Tamil, Goyaka, Tamil is English is what? I don't know. Guava, right? Yeah, that one should not be ripe. It should be raw. And you're supposed to chew on it. Okay. Though it is called hemorrhoids, for some reason they named it with a P letter. The piles became more popular than the original word. Sometimes I feel it is a Saturn disease. Okay. Just a minute. Something interesting so you won't forget. Am I permitted to share? Yes. Do you see this? Anybody wants to say wow? Not impressed?
18. Oh, 17, Guruji. 8.
What is this medicine for?
Constipation.
Read here.
Oh,
Piles.
file.
And even the rupees value is also 8, Guruji.
Wow,
Why?
Guruji.
125.
Why,
But,
17? I didn't get the
but
point. Why?
wait, homeopathy medicine for piles, that could have been a brand, right? Okay, that could have been a brand. But who on earth told them that 17 is Saturn's number? Okay. That's how I imagine it. Do you see the words? Rectal veins. They all have kept the 17. So it is not a brand, actually.
Maybe some formula, sir. Maybe some formula.
No, they would have consulted the astrologers, Guruji.
And this is Allen 26 also. There's an Allen
What about
26.
this? What about BC 17?
Guruji, the other brand you showed was priced at 96 rupees. Again, I think it is come.
No, 96 is not 8. Okay.
13.
You see this? Now, in Sade Sati, when the judge tells, come on 17th, I used to say, the judge is also told, he's been taught about astrology. In a family, there are 4 people, and there is a common case for all of them. But the judge finds out who is going through Sade Sati and only asks them to attend the court. The other 2 people, though inside the case, are told by the judge, no need to come because you are not in Sade Sati. Now, how do I remember all this is because I always am amazed by these things. Okay. Fine. Shall we quit?
Is there okay, we'll quit for now. There's a question that we can answer later, Guruji, about the periods of, the Dasha or Bhukti of Trishadaya Lords. I keep seeing that often. So we'll take it up probably in the next session.
Sure.
So that requires a detailed answer.
Oh, yes. Most of the Trishadaya Lords are always designated functional malefic, except in the case that the other lordship was 9th house.
Yeah.
Right? Otherwise, it is always bad. And for all the Charalagna, straight away 11th house, on most cases, 11th house is the worst of them.
It also works the other way, Guruji. Like trinal lords we consider as benefics, but if they own Trishadaya houses, they are not considered benefics.
Yeah, we have that problem also, yes. But 9th house supersedes that rule.
I too thought that, but it is mentioned in the classics. That is the reason why I was surprised today, and I spoke to Gautam also. I said, Gautam, I read something new today. That was from the Parashari text only. And that was surprising for me. So I said, we'll have to keep that in mind when we are doing the analysis.
So when you're talking so much about Saturn, Soumya's, reminding us even the hair is.
Right, Guruji, I forgot. And I'm in my Saturn Antardasha, Guruji. I'm thinking I missed the Mahamrityunjay puja that you mentioned.
So today morning also I told the lady, if you are in Sade Sati, put the hair back, tie it and keep it. Don't keep the hair in front or any Saturn connection. Okay, yeah. Okay, fine. We'll catch up again. Maybe it's a Sunday live stream.
Yes, Guruji.
Okay. Yeah. Bye.
Thank you.
So was the last one, number 17 for hemorrhoids.
Surprising.
Very interesting.
Yeah.
Thank you for the tips, sir.
Bye.
So many points today.
Yeah.
Thank you, Guruji.
Thank you, Guruji.
Thank you, Guruji. Thank you, Kisharji. Good night, everyone.
Thank you, all of you.
Thank you.
Thank you.